because you have nothing on your back, and to the guys that know that they were right with you, and you deserve what they said. So it's all about that, and I think we've done good on that part.
And talk me through coming towards Big, right? A familiar opponent, you're a team that you know, and you've played against multitude of times. What's the preparation, and what's kind of the thoughts coming in towards this game as well?
Well, obviously Big is always a tough opponent. They've been really good, most likely tactically, and they have some good individuals as well. It's never been an easy game for us, so I think, I mean, for me, opponents doesn't matter that much. I know they're just a good team, and actually at RMR, a lot of teams are really good, so we take this game like the others. They will play good for sure, and we're going to give everything to win and qualify for the major.
And final question as well, over towards Big, of course, they got the new signing of Hype, the youngster coming through from the academy team. What sort of your thoughts and kind of your kind of best process coming in towards this game of, is he a threat to you guys on a big level, or is he still sort of an experience where you know you can kind of take it to him?
No, of course he's a threat. He's using the most OP weapon in the game, and he's been playing well, I think. I've been watching a few games of them, and he's been playing quite well. So I think it can be a really good big threat, but like all of them, I think they're all really good players. So I'm not waiting for an easy game for sure. I know it's going to be tough, and we're going to give our best.
Love to see it, man. Thank you for joining me. Best of luck.
Thank you.
There's nothing quite like having Apex for an interview, Anders. It really sets the stage and gets you excited, man.
Especially what looks like sort of, you know, battle-hardened Apex. I really like the view, like the look that he has now, the little mustache and everything. It all sort of comes together. You believe that he's like the veteran captain of this team. Like, he has the whole look for it. It's fantastic.
All we need to do is get him a little captain's hat, right?
Yeah.
That'd be the play.
Maybe for Paris if they get there. They're close. They're close now. The odds right now over at Unicorn are looking favorable for Vitality. I don't think that's surprising, but I think an understandable level of respect there for Apex. You know, obviously Big, they are a tough opponent. They're not necessarily easy to play, and everyone of the RMR is just super motivated. It's been a tough tournament for everyone, it feels like.
No, it's been insane in terms of the level of competition, right? And I think Big actually have impressed a lot of people already. Even I was one of those that you're looking at it, you're kind of thinking about it, trying to compartmentalize your own bias and thinking Big at the minute for me. Have they really got the stock to be able to make the run they've mounted? I didn't think so. But after watching their game, seeing how they've played here today, it's been a whole lot different. And we are strapped in position. Mirage, Nuke, Overpass for a best of 3 banger between these two squads. Vitality on the CT side, as Big will be a tease for this one.
And you also just feel like so many of us have been on the Big hype train in the past and been let down over and over and over again. So the hesitation is a little bit there, but this does feel like it's kind of the dawn of a new day for this lineup. It's going to be the case right now. They're starting on the T side of Mirage, and on the CT side, Vitality are ready and waiting. Cybers can let go of 1 bullet. Just a warning, fair warning for anyone showing up in the middle. And it looks like it's going to be a crunch to the A-bomb site right away, Jackie.
Walking their way in through the connector with the ramp man as well. Seeing if you can find much to work with, but you've got to get past Spinks, who could always be a big old thorn in your side, currently sat in the sandwich. Audio cues confirmed. Ooh, fast flick onto the second as well. Denies the plant and keeps them in check into the 3 versus 3.
It's a pretty decent start. Gotta find a bomb plant sooner or later. The smoke is gonna be fading, and actually Crimbo, he steps into the smoke to take the fight with Cyber, and able to bring him down as well. Apex will drop to Keto and Dupree. He was on a very, very long flank, and that is way too late for that kind of interaction. So I don't even know if he really wants to go for this. It feels like it's just not gonna happen, right? He's so far away. If there is a kid, it's lost somewhere at the back of the side, I think. So he's just gonna save it up, save the armor if he can, and it'll be Big to pick up the pistol round.
Yeah, throw in the towel for that one. So, pistol round prowess already being displayed. And Keto, the man to keep your eye on there, punishing with a P250. And if Big already find themselves a pistol, I think that's good for the momentum. The way I've kind of been building my storyline for this team as well is that they really need to feed the hot hand. In my mind, that's Hyped and Keto, Fab as well at times. You've got to build them up in the early rounds, right? Because then they really start to steamroll.
Yes, and maybe especially true for somebody like Hyped when it comes to the AWP. I mean, the confidence you need to take some fights. That confidence probably going to have to be even more impressive when you're fighting Cyber on the other side. You just know that every single time you step in with the scope out, you could be dead in a millisecond. So this though is pretty impressive, and I mean, in spite of Spinks doing the best that he could in that corner, he just gets overwhelmed. Defense not quite ready for it, and Cyber actually doesn't really do much of anything in that round. So yeah, good start. And Apex with the classic emotes, which we do love.
Very animated reactions from Apex. They always draw me in.
It's one of the best parts about watching this team, to be perfectly honest. But not the only part. They have some pretty banging players on this side too. Megas has been playing pretty well, from what I can tell. So I don't think I've casted any of Vitality out the RMR yet. So happy to be picking up a game here to get a little bit of a closer look at them.
Get him under the microscope and see what's moving. ZywOo already swinging into position. Wanted to see if he could catch a timing with a scout to open things up, but no one going to give him a freebie.
What's your take on the scout buy? Is it just a single scout, or do you want more than one scout in a round like this?
I've always preferred the double scout with Deagles to support,
Yeah.
and then kind of send the Deagles in, get the tag, and then rely on the scouters at the end, right?
I like that too. Obviously I just like the scout in general, but when you get the tags in early on in the round, those Deagles could really come into a little bit of a world of their own. Good little pop flash coming out. Smoke from all the way out of the hallways to block out the market. And because the Apex has already fallen away at the start of the round, they're just going to save this into the next one. There's no point in going for a retake here. So kind of an uneventful round in many ways.
Yeah, the classic though, you're just there playing towards the back of the site, jump spotting. If you get the contact, you got the HE, do a bit of damage. Maybe you soften them up enough that those 5-7s can sing. Instead, none of that went their way. And you don't want to throw away all this armor. 3 players with the armor investment. You've got good guns there as well, so just carry that into the next. So Big already finding themselves 2 rounds, putting together the puzzle here, starting with the edges, Anders.
As you're meant to, right?
Yeah, that is the strategy, I believe.
You big on puzzles?
I used to be for a period, but then I really just slipped away from it. I could just never quite line them up. I don't know what happened.
I did a 1,000-piece Pokemon puzzle back home with the kids.
Oh, yeah?
But we started it together, and about 30 minutes in, they were bored and left. And then I just did all the rest of it.
You're just there finishing the whole thing.
Yeah, I can't leave something like that undone. You know, once you started, you really gotta follow through. But
You got to commit.
yeah, but edge is the way to go. Not a lot of attempted mid control. Speaking of which, if we're keeping with the puzzle analogy, some of the Big haven't had to do too much yet. They did obviously split it in the middle, but in this previous round, they just kind of left it alone. Always curious to see how teams attack it on this map, because there are really 2 distinct styles. There are some teams that are it's really important for the T side to take mid control. They stage all of their strategies from that position. And there are teams that really don't worry about it nearly as much. Sometimes they'll show up, but it's not like a core piece of the puzzle for them. So yeah, curious to see how Big are going to end up playing this one.
Bit of a push early on. Crimbo's been able to weave his way through underpass. Favin's there to support, so the mid-crunch really is going to be quite heavy-handed. You put Dupree on a pedestal early, he's got the Famus, and he's looking for contact on short here. Taps him with the bomb as well. At least passes that back before he goes for the info play, and doesn't just get the info, finds the frag. Trade game 1 out by Hyped as well.
Yeah, that was... It looked like Dupree was ducking under as soon as Tabson went out, so I'm kind of a little bit surprised that Tabson actually got the kill, because that can be very tricky when you don't actually see anyone on the box there to begin with. ZywOo on the scout, and he will take down Farman. That's a little bit worrisome. Hype is already tagged up, and he'll miss the second opportunity there, but maybe it's close. If he would have hit Hype there, that's an instant 2 versus 3. Deagle in the back from Aegis. He's pretty good with that weapon, but the bomb is going to be making its way over here. And Crimbo, what a great spot out. He should be able, even at range, with the Mac 10 here, favored, I think, and it's certainly that one. No armor there, so instant blow up for ZywOo, and I think Apex... Oh, he might actually have the timing, but he's a little bit slow on the trigger. He looked like he was waiting to land the instant headshot, and somehow Crimbo's able to pick it up. That is... that's a difficult round to lose. I think Vitality had a couple of chances here.
It's frustrating, because suddenly it's racing through your mind as well, especially in those dying moments there where he goes down. Could have been a bit of a different story if he stays alive. More so for ZywOo, it feels like he was sold down the river, right? You're thinking you can rotate back to B, back turned, confident that it's clear. Suddenly, just turns out there's been a man lurking in the bomb site the whole time. This is the one saving grace, though, at least. Nice little AK there to be scavenged. You can hold on to the Kalashnikov.
Yeah, and you'll take that. It's a pretty powerful weapon to bring into the next one, and yeah, some of their players are going to be a little bit low on money, so you might as well you get the extra grenades to play around with and all the rest of it. It's a bonus at least. But Big are off to a good start. They're going to be celebrating the beginning of this one as they pick up a third round here. This is a little bit unfortunate, but I'm shocked that he picked up the second one there. That was definitely not meant to be. See him here. Oh, just spotted it. Well done from Crimbo, honestly. Good reactions.
He always seems like the movement in those sort of rounds is what wins him little plays as well. He's really good at kind of manipulating his hitbox. If he's ever in an awkward angle, I've always noticed that about him. He knows how to tuck himself down, make it really uncomfortable for you in the fights. It's definitely something to keep an eye on the longer this game develops, but at least for Vitality now, you've got the reinvestment. ZywOo coming in with the AWP. M4s across the board, other than the scavenged rifle that Magis brought in from the prior round. And this could be a bit of a scrap. Want to set themselves up for the A play a little bit later on. They've got all the bells and whistles for it, and dupreeh could be tested.
Yeah, and he just has to stay away because his teammates are clearing out middle. They're having this very aggressive push to try and take top mid control. So if he fights it on his own, that's probably a mistake. Kino is nearly dead behind that one. They're trying to get through, but that's also a mistake. tabseN will take him right down, and they're in a lot of trouble here. They're going for a deep flank with Spinks going to be running through T-spawn, but unless they can hold this CT spawn position, the flank will be pretty much useless. Oh, wow. They might even call it off here. That's a difficult call to make. It's a 4-on-5. You have the flank in. You have a lot of people already kind of in CT spawn, and you decide almost instantly to pull the plug on this round. See how it plays out. I mean, the way to judge this is to say, what is Vitality's economy going to be like, 2 or 3 rounds from now? That's when you'll know whether or not this was worth it, really.
Crimbo's still attempting to make it costly as well. He had weaved his way in through underpass, but luckily for Spinks, he not only finds the frag in T-spawn, but can also shut down Crimbo. So the reinvestment has to come out there. Don't think that's going to bother them. Fat stacks across the board for Big. Their rap careers paying off with the savings they were able to amass. And talking of saves, yeah, that was a quick throw in of the tower, right? Immediately after losing those frags, like you were saying, you were kind of set up to build yourself back into the round. I was already in my mind thinking Spinks is about to go on there to be really the backbreaker.
Yes.
Just didn't happen.
And it's not the meta that we've been seeing throughout the RMR so far. It feels like almost all teams are ready to fight to the death for every single part of the map, no matter what. So yeah, that's been happening a lot. Curious to see Vitality pull in, not necessarily old meta, but certainly this saving CT side weapons is, something that we saw a lot more out of in the last major. So it doesn't mean it won't work. It's just, it is risky if you end up losing everything in this round, then you just kind of gave up the previous round, maybe for nothing. Instant smoke there to try and save himself a little bit of space. He's got some teammates with him that are going to be able to help out. So I think it's just some good info right now for the Big side of things. And Hype might be put up in a position here to get an easy kill. Yeah. Vegas walking right into that one. 4 versus 5 to begin with, and they're not committed to anything. Luxury for Big at the moment.
That's one of the nice things to see from Big as well. They're not really overcommitting into any of these rounds. They're being able to play split and pick, rely on players like Hype to get that first entry, and then decide after they've cut time if they want to work with it. But here, Spinks, he goes down, extinct off of the contact there. So already 2 opening picks. This is looking uncomfortable. They're backing off, trying to poise themselves towards B. Ooh, this could get rough in the late round, actually, with the rotation coming in as well. Final 30 seconds, Anders, and they're actually going to be going for the raw B play. Yeah. Could be messy.
Yeah, this is another great... This is the time it really is a great calculation for Vitality. You're basically saying if they come B, we could probably win the 3-on-5 over here. And if they don't, then we'll just save the rifles. But we'll see. Crimbo's made the jump down sideways. In the back, they can't not commit. Oh, and the spray down. dupreeh with a double headshot, and the round is won in a 3-on-5 by Vitality. They made it easy at the end, and that is because of that dice roll. You just say, let's hope they go. They did, and it was an absolute shutdown. So Big, really well played up until that point in time, but they needed a little bit more time, because if they had another 20 seconds, they could have sent Crimbo in to discover that there were people on the B bomb side like that, and maybe he just says, all right, it's fine, guys, just run underpass to the A bomb side instead.
So already Apex feeling that energy. God, I do wonder what it would be like to live a life in the day of Apex and feel that sort of emotion every damn day, man. I feel like I'd just be such a different human. It'd be good.
Possibly quite exhausting at the end of the day too, but it's a real roller coaster ride as well when you see Apex, because he's hyped when they're winning, but you know, anything goes wrong, even when they are winning, they could be up 10 rounds in a row, but if they lose even one, Apex is immediately looking very frustrated, very dejected. So yeah, real roller coaster of emotions.
Wears his heart on his sleeve. That's why we all love him. But here, no love. It's all about who can punish the most. Minute and 20 on the clock into the 6th round. Fairly default from the setup. No real aggression too early from Big, like they've been trying into the prior rounds. They love really using Hyped as the first sort of 30-second playmaker to see if he can get those picks off the back of spawns. Here wasn't really a possibility for it. So he holds towards top mid, now groups up with a pack, and they've got the util for this as well.
Yeah, it's a very classic way of thinking about the AWP as sort of an entry tool to try, especially on an open map like this. Could be a little bit tricky on some of the maps that have some smaller choke points, but on this one you definitely can try and wheel that AWP in first. They're going to be going pretty hard at it here as well. 3 of them coming up the ramp. Keto, that looked like almost run and gun. Sprays down Apex with a wall bang, and they just keep going. All headshots all the way through, including the Galil. And Cyber and Dupree, they're not even going to take a step closer to the bomb side. Why would you at this point in time? Wow, that's pretty devastating.
It really does feel like if you flip the names, you could be led to believe, right, that this is kind of Vitality with the opening gambit, with the way that it's being played out. Boy, okay, so another save, just holding on to the orbs that ZywOo still has it in his possession, but Big, they're starting to get that hot hand that I was talking about. If they warm up early, it feels like it follows them throughout the game. And here on Mirage, looking pretty damn good. Quality T side already, right? You've grabbed yourself 5 rounds.
It's an interesting vote happening over at Blast TV. All CSGO majors for Dupree, about 2/3 is saying yes. Count myself in that camp, I'm not gonna lie. I could see Dupree doing it.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think even just for the storyline as well, of obviously having that little bit of time away, now coming back. This man's a father, Anders, he's gotta be there, right? He's the daddy of the scene.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, you can't leave him out for the last one, can you? It feels wrong. Laughing their way through the round. That's brilliant. It's so funny as well with Keto, how he was kind of just a weird stand-in at one point in this team, and then just made his way in as a full-time member. And I think he's been playing progressively better and better for the last 2 or 3 months. Pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's also the amass of games that they're starting to play as well. And that's one of the factors that I think everyone kind of thought about, but never really, you know, is fully committing to the idea that a lot of the teams we've seen that have just been grinding games consistently would come in so heavy-handed to the RMR. But it's been packed full of upsets, and Big are another team that I would now shift into that camp of just being able to really outmaneuver you. It feels like the strat book's got a lot more depth to it. Nice little run boost early on as well. Put Tabson behind the box at middle, so Dupree sees nothing through the one-way.
Yeah, and I think something that's always been with the big camp is this heavy level of preparation, especially for high-level games. So I'm sure they have a really good understanding of how Vitality like to play, and I'm sure everyone feels quite locked into thinking about that. And as long as it's working, as long as the prep is paying off, you feel great about it. Obviously, the problem comes when you feel like, all right, plan A isn't working, but oh my god, that was Crimbo down from below, picking Dupree up as he jumped away. And you actually see Dupree got quite annoyed at that little shot coming through. 4 on 5 to begin with, still a minute on the clock here. And once again, they're not committed. They don't really have to do anything right now. They can wait it out.
So Father Crimbo, being the reverse Santa Claus there, stealing away the present. He'll put Big in a big position. 45 seconds left on the clock. ZywOo at the back of B, scoped in, ready to assassinate, hits the first and has to get himself into a good angle to work with, but he's bought a ton of time. 35 on the clock. They're still playing behind the smoke and it looks iffy. They're waiting for the rotations for the rest of the squad. Molly's now down at the back, thinking he was on the close. And this is going to be so rough. I mean, one more mistake here and the whole round goes down with it. So they bail out off of the contact, go through underpass. Tabson has got himself a powerful position to work with, but Spinks is still on the site. This doesn't get any easier.
Oh, what a sick shot from Tabson, and Spinks dropping as well. There's still a chance for Makers to win this round. A wallbang shot might do it. Oh. I think he would have won the round if he got that. A blind spray, and there would not have been enough time for anyone to pick up the bomb and plant it any longer. That is way closer than it seems. The kills are going in the favor of Big, but low time in that round, and they could have definitely lost it. They managed to escape ZywOo, and that's probably good news. He seems to be pretty much fired up. but also potentially a little bit immobile in this bomb site. He's kind of just at the back of the B bomb site waiting for them to show up, and that's something to be maybe concerned about. Good finish for Tabson, steals the AWP away, and this is actually a brilliant start for Big right now. I've got to say, this is super impressive.
You're rolling with the momentum. And they're looking good, especially for the late round call, to actually still make the round out of it in the fashion they did, where it seemed like you're just going to be funneled into the meat grinder. You know, B-site becomes an abattoir. God, Magists as well. Clearly showing the frustration on that one, and rightly so. Whereas differently for the camp of Big there, God B giving his input immediately, trying to keep themselves level-headed, even with the large lead you've amassed.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's obviously also the tricky part. It's one thing to win a string of rounds like this, but to kind of keep the flow going and keep Vitality guessing is definitely very tricky. They're playing it so late in these rounds. That does have me concerned. But so far, it's mostly looking pretty good, so I'm not going to be criticizing it too much. What a start for Big. I was not expecting it. 6-1 in their favor. Just barely scraping together a buy here on Vitality. All of the money being used in this one, so on the other side, Big are super rich. Could be a much more plain strategy here. Looks like a default A execute we all know and love.
Majesk being the first point of contact with the desolate space. Can he create space for the team? That's the big old question, as they're relying a lot on him here. For the meantime, it's just early information shown, but no cards truly played. You can still set yourselves up. You've got the utility that you want. Hyped paranoid about the potential for the flank as well.
Yeah, that's obviously the downside of occupying such a small part of the map when you're on the T side, is you get to wonder, what are they doing on the part of the map we're not on? If anyone's sneaking up to take map control, we need to know about it. So they're going to take the bomb with them to go investigate, which kind of makes you think maybe they've just changed their minds entirely. Not sure what it was that did it. Mid control is still heavily in favor of Vitality, which should be an advantage to them. Should mean that they can rotate really quickly both to A and B at this point in time. We'll see what Big decide to try and do with that. Nice enough spray down on the Crimbo. The bomb's still making its way over here, and just going to be a little bit of an attempted entry. 3 people coming into the B bomb side.
Dupree in a prime position, but it's Tabson that tackles the first man. Hits the shot onto Apex and gets the bomb down. Good setup into the 4 versus 4. And there is still one all the way back towards T-spawn. That's Keto. He's got a bit of a fun run to make, a marathon, if you will, to arrive on the scene of the crime. Meanwhile, Dupree drops bombs onto Tabson. Spinks, he's slithering up in the rear, sees the head of Hyped, and is able to hard commit to the frag. It just goes down to Fav, and really the full frontal assault doesn't work out. That's the double kill, and because of the timing, they could jump on this. They've got the read, smoke out for Keto, but it would have to be insane. Bomb about to be defused, and that one slips through the fingertips.
Yeah, a little bit of a shame, but I mean, the game plan was definitely there. I don't think they were expecting for that flank to come through from the CT side. They probably were assuming that because Keto was back there, he would have been able to intercept anyone that came through, but it did not work out that way. An important round for Vitality, no doubt about it. They need to start turning this into their favor. Yeah, that was a good grenade out there. Yeah, this move from Spinks here is huge.
use him kind of as a gauging tool to see if he can find the early space for them. Always good for the late round, though. This guy can be quite crisp, and he's going to be sneaking his way up towards Connector. Could be some prime opposition for him here.
I really like the initiative the Hype will take in some of these rounds, although flashed in, it's so efficient. Spinks just check marking everyone. There's 1, 2, 3. I'm just going for the list easily. And Farvan is alone. That looked just mechanically so crisp. And you like to see that. The flash setup as well to make that extra easy. What a delightful little triple for him. And that, now we're talking about building a little bit of confidence. This should be the kind of thing where Vitality can just remind themselves of what they're here to do.
Look down at the jersey. Remember where they are.
Yeah. That's important, right? This is these teams are 2-1 right now. So if you win here, you qualify. Huge weight off your back if you're Vitality. On the other side of things, though, if you don't, you go into that 2-2 group, and Lord only knows what's going to happen down there. That'll be wild. Nobody wants to experience that.
No, the murky waters of the way some of those games in the bracket are going to go, especially with some of the results we'll get towards the end of today. And you start thinking about the last chance qualifier, there is so much that could get awkward. So you want to win it when it's on your terms. And that's exactly what this is. It's a fresh best of 3. Even with Big being in the lead, you can always come back from that. And it seems like Vitality now are starting to find themselves more in that mindset, right? ZywOo playing on angles that favor him a little bit more, not just tucked back at B, feeling like he's kind of on an island for the late round. And Spinks, when he comes alive, Anders, the whole damn dynamic changes.
Yeah, they need something like that. Again, it's been kind of quiet even on the fragging front for the Vitality side, so something to pick it up, something to change how they feel. And that just very well might be it. Flash assist from Apex on every single one of those kills, so really, really good flash to be throwing into the middle. Classic jump down here for tabseN through the smoke, flashed in. They're going to keep on going. This is all about speed, but ZywOo's on the other side, and every time you run into this player, you just know it's going to be a bad time.
He's hunting for more. He can sniff them. He knows they're close by. Oh, it won't matter though, as tabseN surprises. His pathing was great, his fragging's been amazing, and now again, it's a round that seems to be slipping back towards Big as tabseN just keeps delivering. Mind the gap. As he's the one that's creating space. dupreeh forced to save.
It's so cool, isn't it? Because tabseN sacrificed himself as a potential, superstar AWPer to try and save German Counter-Strike. But every once in a while, you're reminded, you get that glimmer of, wait a minute, this is what tabseN's all about. What a great gift to have at a time like this. The kill for the smoke is just, again, the experience chiming through, but he is so crisp when he's got that mechanical aim up and running. A real joy to be watching. 11 kills on him after this one. And it comes at a perfect time as well, because Vitality were starting to get a bit of momentum, starting to gather themselves. They'll have the money still in the next round, but just they were starting to feel a little bit better, you could tell. And now they're getting run down. tabseN to find the last one, a quad kill on him in this one.
I think it stings that little bit more because it is the manner in which tabseN basically just goes absolutely off to win that round, right? There's probably a sigh of relief in the team speak when ZywOo gets the opening pick towards Connector. You're thinking, okay, build off the back of this, should be able to play the trade now, it's in our hands. And I will say, throughout the RMR, actually, tabseN really has been looking mechanically super good, which has been nice to see. Because, of course, if you've got all 5 fingers on one hand working together in tandem, it's a way a lot better. You can hold things, you can grip stuff.
It is designed that way, many could say.
Yeah. I suppose if you take the thumb off, everything would just fall straight off.
Definitely not a favorable position, I'm not going to lie. Could be an advantage in other situations, Jackie, but Spinks, he's straight down. It's tabseN to find another opening through the smoke. ZywOo, though, quick on the return, and it is a 4-on-4. Still keeping a lot of people here. It's Keto. Kind of almost 3 people near the A-bomb site, while the rest of them are making a rotation towards Apex, who's not had the best game yet, but he'll be put to the test right here.
Ooh. Goes for the swing off the back of the audio cue, and he does tackle against Crimbo. Big tag as well onto Hype that could apply a bit of pressure to the man, but Favon, he wants to stand tall. Gets into the back, lines that one up, knows Apex has no vision, hits the head, leaves him lifeless, and it drops us down into a 3 versus 3. Awkward encounter on the A site with Keto on the rotates. dupreeh spots that one out, and they know there's just 2 now.
Yeah, they definitely do, but they don't have any of the important grenades. They need a smoke right now They have kits, but just to block off that AWP, that's going to be the tricky part. What a lineup here for Hype. Missing the first one and actually revealing his position. Let's see. Maybe they could find him with a nade again. Dupree able to get that one, and Farman is practically dead. Deep grenade on top of it. They don't have the smoke to get rid. Time is running low, but I think they should have enough time. He needs to die right here, and they are instantly on the defuse. Really close call here at the end, but it will be Vitality to pick up a 5th round.
It's Vitality scraping through that one by the skin of their teeth. And it's not how you would really expect this game to go on paper. The 9-5 scoreline, the way these rounds are being won, the manner in which it is, you're thinking that would be attributed a lot more towards Big. But right now, they're playing some quality counter. The individuals are looking good. And even in situations like this, they're keeping it close. For Favon, off the back of the frag he had there from Apex, I was really thinking he had secured the deal. But they found the flanker on the A site, and it all started to unravel. Now, back towards A on the early default. Oh, Zai Wu. Man's getting his confidence back, and as he controls the Palace.
And just a bit of aggression, I really like it. I like to see him be just a tiny bit more active because he's certainly got the skill to back it up. They're on the ramp, and actually they're getting flanked already. Dupree's just going to keep on going. Cywin into getting overrun. This is dangerous, but he's up for the task. A headshot to take down Farman. It's a 3 versus 5, and actually Dupree's going to give up on the flank. He's saying, you know what, I'm just going to come back to the Palace. No real flick coming out there. I think he was just way too flashed. It's going to be tabseN going down, leaving Crimbo and Hyped. And already Hyped has got a little bit of an inkling that something is going on in that Palace. No bomb plant, because that bomb is in CT spawn. tabseN must have brought it over. It trickled all the way down the stairs. Crimbo is going to be going down, not quite ready for it, and now Hyped. There really are no wrong choices here. Whatever you do, you're probably going to be in a lot of trouble, so might as well just take the fight and see if you can come out on top somehow. Not going to happen. Magisk will take him down. 9-6 at the end of the half in favor of Big. What a great start for the German side. We'll see if they can continue after this.
When I throw the clip in the AK, I slay from far away. Like the lyrical Christopher Wallace once said, that's what BIG have been doing in the server tonight, Anders. Tabson, 3-0 in opening duels, putting rounds in his pocket just off the back of his own individual.
Yeah, notorious right now, aren't they? It's wonderful to see. And with this kind of a beginning, I mean, they could claim Mirage for themselves pretty fast. If they win the pistol round in the second half here, they are almost already there. Vitality look a bit flat. They did start to come alive at the end of it, which is good news, I guess, for Vitality fans. But man, this second half needs to be something else.
It's got to be clean. It's got to be clinical. And this could get a little bit disgusting early on. I see Hyped has pulled out the hemoglobin dualies. Madman wants to spill a pint of blood, and already it starts off. Apex slain, and the bomb quickly scurrying towards the B site. Dupree backing off to assist as Zywoo says goodnight to Faven.
Yeah, this is a bit interesting. It's going to be a full-on retake at this point, the way that it's shaping up. Even though the bomb is a little bit late to be planted, they're not quite sure about how much control they really have. And even before it's down, they're already attacking into it. 2 versus 4, and Cyber's got no way to go. He has to fight his way out, and he will. 2 big headshots. Dupree now up in the palace, or up in the hallway, just waiting for it. They do not have a kit currently picked up, so it's going to be a real long time where Dupree can jiggle this out. And Big know it as well. They really want to try and see if they can find him. Flashbang's not going to help out. They're both right there, and they're coming for him, trying to hunt him down. Hyped with a good shot right there. It's a real close one, but Big are going to have enough time for the defuse. They were already there when the bomb was planted, so 10-6 going to be the scoreline.
And from what was a game where in the first few rounds it felt like Zywoo wasn't really allowed to play his style of CS, he's come alive, especially here in the pistol round, the P250 Punisher. 3 frags he finds there make the world of difference, but in the dying moment, Big still pull it out. Those dualies sing on strong. It was disgusting, man. The second shot onto Crimbo, you're even thinking then he goes on to kill Tabson just because of how clean it looked.
I mean, it would probably, if Tamsin isn't just as clean on the other side, that's exactly what will happen. He would have just continued to slay all of them. 10-6, 4-round lead. But because of the bomb plant, they're going to be picking up rifles right away. They're not going to be delaying this at all. Flash over the top, which probably going to be hurt a little bit, some of the steps down there. No one from Vitality really wants to go and check it out. In fact, they're quite far back on the map in general.
Famuses and MP9s. Always feels like a bad dream. You're going to wake up in cold sweats, look down and go, oh, it was an M4, not a Famus. I feel way better. But here, it is a reality, Anders. Those really are the weapons you've got to contend with into this round as the push is coming towards you on the B site. In the back line, Faven takes first contact, dashes out the Molotov, and here comes the rest of the squad. They're running straight in, but I love this angle from Crimbo up on top. They can't see you over the edge of the smoke. He strikes onto Sphinx. Dupree with the Galil, good for 1, but it's not really enough until Zywoo pulls up to the party. Hard commits on the bomb plant, though, and Crimbo got a gap on the edge. He can strike against him, leaving it all up to Apex to prove that he's the best.
Yeah, he's got a huge chance against the first one here. If he can pick it up, then... Oh, he's getting shot in the back at range, and the panic, it's all-consuming. Keto will take him down in a classic Apex emote there at the end. Oh, man, he had no idea where they were, and the fact that Crimbo was inside of the smoke at the end, they just never realized. They probably thought they already killed him, because he was on the boost earlier. My God, that is such a close round.
Really down to the wire here. And some of these 1vx's. And it's that raw passion as well that's so exciting. The fact we've got the contrast, right, of Tabson kind of really going in. Apex as well with the emotes. And you could see him kind of saying to him, he's pointing to his head saying, guys, we need to think.
Oh, that's super rough, isn't it? But because it ends in a one-on-one with the bomb plant, it makes a lot of sense to force up into this round. You know the CT side economy is not going to be that great. So you might as well just keep the pressure on. 11-6. This is actually still a super winnable map for Vitality. So I wouldn't be too concerned. As long as they can keep the economy low on Big, there's always a way back. Wow, no fear at all from Apex. Running right through the MAC-10. They should be able to get Crimbo here. That's fine. Valuable trade. In fact, they're going to keep going. This is a little bit wild. Farman, quick headshot to slow things down. Spinks is in trouble as well, and they're just getting chewed up. Farman with excellent defense. 3 kills, and it's getting Tamsin hyped up now.
Tabson yelling, you know something's going right for Big, and the scoreline supports that fact. But yeah, surprising as well, the pace that Vitality took into that when the Molly was supposed to split them and they had actually got through it. I was thinking maybe they do just have a tempo off for this, right? You get a couple of frags, but not going to happen. Big right now, very heavy with a hand. Deny any sort of shenanigans, and they move 6 rounds away. 12-6 being the scoreline. It's just the deco for Vitality.
Going to be some banging headshots to make this round work. They're in the middle fighting, so they're going to have an opportunity. Big have sort of said, okay, we'll make it fair. At least we'll come to you. Spinks will find one more. They keep going. I don't know why. This whole army of Deagles up at top mid just stop fighting them. Tabson goes down next, and it's a 4 versus 2, but still winnable here, given the armor situation. No head armor, so the MP9 can do quite a bit. Crimbo's up close, and he will explode Apex on that one. They should still be in a decent position, even if it's a scary start.
Is there any more pistol punishment? Or finally, will they be on the receiving end of what they've done here into the 19th? They're grouping up for the walk in towards B, but this is Crimbo's land. He has the lease for this apartment, and you are not allowed in. Turns the key for the first frag onto Zaiwu. Backs off to play the numbers game as well. You love to see this.
Yeah, very smart. A little bit of a jump. He actually took a lot of damage. Just don't do it again. They're waiting for you right up there. 40 seconds, and he's right underneath, catching them as they fall into his arms. Dupree will get that one on Crimbo, and it is a 1 versus 1. He's going to fake it out, hoping that there's some panic on the other side. Keto's coming in for it. And again, in the RMR so far, Keto's been a really strong player. Dupree might go to the A-bomb side. You can make that call right now. If you wanted to, you could risk it.
That's the time for it. Cut sound for a second, but as he started to sprint his way over, Keto, he has an idea of what's going on here. Would need to be the 4K for Dupree to save the day. 10 seconds on the clock, crosses. Deagle was pulled out, but the connector will be held. And Big, they grabbed that round. It was just Eagles, but it was damn tight.
Yeah, so I think at a different point of the game, maybe I try to argue, okay, well, they still did a lot of damage, but the problem is now we're getting so close to the finishing line here for Big, and it doesn't really feel like it has quite the same impact. It is still obviously cool to get 4 kills in a round like this one, but it's 13-6. You need to do more than just do some economic damage. We need to see reliable structure here for Vitality to start to win rounds in the second half. Otherwise, all of this is just academic or economic at the moment, I suppose. Dupree is going to be getting the kill onto Tabson at the start of the round. It's a pretty good start, but he burns alive. Crimbo. There were a lot of people there. I don't know why Dupree was stuck back there.
Smokes were in position as well, but I guess at that point they would rather save the smoke. He didn't really have an exit path, so he goes down to the Molotov. So it is a 1-for-1, even with it basically being the Martyrdom play from the Molly. So Dupree's in the Burns ward, and Big, they're burning bright into the game so far. Down to about 1 minute and 10 as well, reshuffling themselves, leaving Hyped as the sole defender of the B site with the AWP.
Hyped going to be walking up. Not going to be spotted immediately. Spinks is behind the corner, but this is very scary if you're an AWP player. You miss the flick to the left-hand side here, and you don't get to escape at all. Let's see if they're going to be able to time this peek down. Oh, he is just a shoulder peeking, and Spinks drops immediately. Hype, there was plenty of time for him to get that done. Farman's going to sneak in a kill on Apex. Now they're running at him, but he doesn't even need to fight this. He's got backup coming. 2 players on the A-bomb side are getting a little bit closer, and Hype is absolutely star performance on this one. Defending the B-bomb site, triple on him, up to 11, and bringing Big up to 14.
God damn, man. Inside and outside of the server, he is looking like he's feeling himself today. That's one of the nice things about Hyped as well, actually. It kind of looks like he's really gelled into this squad. Okay, that's the explanation for the Molotov then. Yeah, going back to this man on your screens. It's just how fast he is, how aggressive he is, but he knows when he's overcommitting. He knows when to back off. It seems like he's already had that instilled into him, but it doesn't feel like sometimes when you have that younger, hot AWPer, you kind of get a bit broken by your in-game leader. Here, he's really been built up.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, one of the questions about Hype is also how is he going to play when the stakes are higher against better opposition? And there was nobody had really the answer to that, but I mean, this is pretty impressive. He's going to find the kill on Dupree. Keto flashed for a minute, but it's going to duck back down to minimize his model. Saiwu's getting a kill, but not really much more than that at the moment. Megas got his own, smoked off away from the party, and all of his teammates are dead.
Never the position you want to be in. You're waiting for everyone to arrive. You're in the palace. You've got the snacks out. The drinks are there. And then you realize the whole team's dead and it's just you in a bad dream. And none of these pillows will make it any more comfortable to sit on.
Those little round pillows, I don't even know what they're for. Are they just for decoration?
I think that is what they're for, right? Like they're throw pillows, but I've never understood them because they're really uncomfortable and they kind of look awful.
It's just, okay, it's just purely aesthetics. Wow. What are the most dangerous canoes, Jackie? Do you know?
The most dangerous canoe?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Volcanoes.
Wait. Okay, this is good. I'm glad we're on that same vibe, Anders. This is nice to run it back. Let's see, though, if Big can run it back for another round or if Vitality are going to be able to stand tall here. Big man, 6 foot tall, out at middle. That's Dupree. Goes down like a ton of bricks as Tabson will strike against him. Oh, Magisk as well. He's eating nades, Anders. It's like Pac-Man, but you do not want to eat those. That's also fire. Get away from that.
Oh, yeah. Magisk is catching all the elements over here. It's pretty rough. 4 versus 3, but only really barely. There's some life, you know, here in Spinks. 13 kills, Cyber 17. They got a couple of players up there. Actually, Dupree being one of them as well. But it's just that everyone on Big is playing such a great game right now that there's not a lot of confidence left. You need 9 in a row here on Vitality. I don't even think if they believe that at the moment that's going to happen. And Crimbo started to move forward. Timing is everything. And he's just going to walk past as Apex slipped away. This could be pretty huge if he can get the flank in time. On the other side, I think Hype is playing on his own at this A bomb site. That's an almost unwinnable position, but he has been hitting the flicks, so I don't want to count him out yet.
Oh, the timing on this as well. Zai Wu, just as he repositions with his attention on middle. Crimbo's popped out of the apps. Hits that one. Magisk with the trade back on the Galil as well. Takes down the aggressive AWP of Hypes, and the bomb will be planted. And this doesn't end here. Spinks, good for 3 in the round, pushes out and fully finishes things off. Crimbo forced into the save. Vitality move on to 7.
And this is where the combined experience on this Vitality team is really high up there. And this is where if they are going to make the comeback happen, I mean, that's where the experience starts to really matter. That's where you start to really feel like, all right, we know we can technically, it can be done mathematically. So just 1 round at a time and lock in that focus. It's been really hard to come by. You could see they've been frustrated. They've lost a couple of rounds they probably didn't need to. And Big have had none of that issue so far. Spinks really the one that saved them in this one, opening up on Farvin here, and I think he's going to get a couple of more kills before the end of it, so super important stuff. I think if not for Spinks, again, the defense probably would have been fine here for Big. Wow, what a position to be in. Not what I was expecting when we sat down to cast the game. Map was picked by Big, so I suppose that's something to maybe think about. Obviously, second map is going to be on to Nuke, so we'll see what happens if we get there.
I think actually, with how this is going then, let's just say for now, sure, Big do go on to win this one. The rest of Vita gets a little bit more spicy for me. I think Nuke into Overpass.
Sure.
Like, this could be kind of awkward to call the longer it goes on. But we'll stick with the present for now. We'll stay with where we are, right? Big, 15 rounds on the board. Vitality trailing behind with 7, but they've always got that experience. One of the things about Vitality as well, game ain't over till you close it. And that can be the hardest bit.
Yeah, you gotta, and you should do that really fast before your own players start to feel nervous. Probably not going to be until we get to like a 15-12 type scoreline that Big starts as the reality sets in what could happen.
Yeah.
Overpass is the third map, though. You're going to be feeling pretty good about that for Big's point of view. I don't think they're going to be too sad about that being the third one. So let's just find out. Cyber's there, and he's going to find more kills. It feels like that's just how it is. Every time you come and try and battle him, probably will end up that way. 4 on 5 to start with. Curious. Big just need 1 round. I wouldn't be surprised if we try and see a couple of more risky rounds coming out from them, because all it takes, double push to the A ramp, even a 3-man push to top mid, whatever it takes, because if you win even one of those risks, that's it. The map is done and you can rest easy. What do you think, Jackie? You give us a prediction here. Vitality comeback gonna happen?
I'd say 16-10 Big, based off what I've seen here. That would be my safe hand if I went for it.
So they walk it back and everyone's real happy and it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm calling it 100% comeback for Vitality.
Oh, yeah? All right. This is good.
Straight into overtime.
There you go. Now there's a bit of pressure on the line. We're both going to be like really invested to see if we get the right prediction.
It's more fun that way, you know? I'm seeing Spinks really come alive, you know? That makes me happy. He seems to be taking some initiative. Although a round like this is kind of hard to judge anything off of because they do get the opening kind of for free, right? Not that I'm blaming Big, but it's just a lot easier to play a 4-on-5 when you kind of get the first AWP kill like that.
Ooh, you talk about AWP kills as well. The AWPer has been slain here. Hyped really wanted to hold on to that one. Instead, now he's been thrown to the wayside, and it's just Fathom that will get through for the save. One gun, not as effective with the low econ that they've got on the big side. And for Vitality as well, the main thing that I'm thinking is all of the pieces are now starting to wake up. Like Magisk went from kind of never really having his name said, and now he's starting to get a bit of a groove on, right? 8 frags to his name, had a bit of impact here, and he was a key player for this team, I think, throughout the RMR so far. It's looked like he's had some big impact. So if he's awake and everyone's here for Vitality, then school could be in session, Anders.
Yeah, he is an incredible momentum player as well. He's, you know, you've seen the frustration in some of the rounds that he lost there, but man, when he's up and running, he's just an unstoppable force. And Big will have to dig really deep to try and bring down some of these players. That's also why, from Big's point of view, like that 16-10 scoreline, that's a really comfortable way to close it before you get into that thing. I don't think it's there yet. I don't think they really are worried at the moment. They're out of money, so that's a bit of concern. But I think overall, they're probably quite in the zone. I don't think Tabson's freaking out. They're just going to be saying, don't worry about it, guys. We know what the plan is here. We're going to get one of these rounds, and then we're off. But eventually, that fear can start to set in. And, I mean, some teams just do not handle that well.
No, you notice with a lot of squads as well, especially in these kind of matchups, the longer they go on, the more experienced, the more favorite side is always the one that seems to be able to pull it out, sort of string those rounds together, feel like they're the ones in control of the pace. Whereas you, staring one round down, can't quite seem to get it. The little mistakes creep in, the seed of doubt in the back of your mind as well. So yeah, the longer this goes on, the worse it will be for the big mental game. But right now, we've actually got full bite to work with. So the AWP back out on Hyped. I like the fact he's been roaming a lot as well. He's trying to keep you guessing with how he's going to approach these rounds.
Something that we saw from him hanging out at the showdown was the fact that even when he was having a tough game, he would continue to try and find openings, which is really admirable because it can be very easy as an AWP player to give up on your aggressive AWP play and just kind of like disappear in the match and you don't do anything. Maybe you don't die nearly as much, but you also don't have any impact on any rounds. And I felt like Hyped kept trying to find openings, which the only thing you don't know at that point in time is whether or not it'll work against tier 1 opposition when the stakes are really high, because that can be punished really badly. I mean, some AWPers, like the Saiwu, like the Modesty, could get away with it, but not everyone can be that kind of player. And I would say openly, we just don't know about Hyped yet, but I appreciate the fact that he's trying a lot and going for it. And this could be one of the real, you know, asset tests for him, is can he actually do it?
If you can do it right here, right now, would mean a whole lot in terms of the RMR, but it's the AUG from Quito that is getting loud. The Spartans battling back there as the Auger wins out on the encounter, and we fall into a 2 versus 3. Bomb planted, Apex up towards Palace. Zaiwu backs off on the ramp.
They do not have a defuse kit, which is kind of there's a long rotation for having a 10-second defuse on the hands right now. Zaiwu's got a great read, going to be taking down Tabsons right back into a 2-on-2, and they're going to be backing on out. I can't believe it. First thing I can't believe is the AUG. It was such a scrappy spray at the start of it. It looked like if you missed that many bullets on them coming out of the Palace, you're going to get peeked and dead instantly. But he actually got the double kill regardless. So a strange round, all things considered.
Now, here's the scary bit. That 15-10 scoreline, I said, it's here. It's arrived. So Zaiwu and the boys pulling into a power position. 5 rounds away from potentially forcing us to an overtime. And here is Quito's AUG. Man that's sliding down towards the site. I think in their minds, again, as well, that's a round where suddenly you're thinking, right, we've actually got a big advantage to work with for the first time again. Feels like we've been losing a lot of the opening duels. Here we can build off this, and we got to save.
Yeah, a little bit frustrating, although, again, this is where Hyped as a player becomes a bit interesting, because I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to try and make that AWP as big as he can in the round, just to try and win it right now. Again, he seems like that kind of player, and I think that's a luxury to have at a stage like this. It's going to get everyone real fired up. You could see him in the middle fighting. He's not afraid of anybody here, and he does miss the opportunity. Run boosted into the middle with Saiwu on the other side, but that could have been a huge kill to pick up to start with.
Zaiwu was not ready for that. hyped with the movement early on. He was put in a position to go for that frag. Doesn't quite work out. Barely splits the needle. Luckily, Crimbo on his aggression works well. Takes down Spinks. Apex. Ooh, made a lot of noise. Can't quite make the play. And Tabson might actually want to punish off the back of this. Head has been seen. Goes back in for seconds, Anders, and he'll take that one.
Oh dear. Jackie, you might be right on this one. 5 versus 3. With not a lot to work with, a sick flash with the smoke that was just fading up with the B hallways, and then a dink in the middle and a follow-up. And now things are looking pretty grim for Vitality. 3 versus 5. Even with the lesser weapons on the big side, it doesn't really matter. They can kind of see what's coming. They've got a good rotation over on this side. 3-man setup, but they're pushed out of B, so it means they're going to be lurking for the middle pretty soon. Hyped, just giving up on the angle. If he had stayed, he probably would have had a kill on Dupree by now. 30 seconds left, and this has started to look really grim for the Vitality side. Good little flick there. Magus is going down, and Cywo, he needs it, but there's no reason for Hype to fight him. Why would he? There's only 20 seconds left. It's on Vitality to get onto the bomb side, and Keto says absolutely not. Cywo's on his own, finding them left, right, and center. It's 16 to 10, as Big will pick up the opening map here and bring down Vitality on Mirage.
Oh, that's one in the back pocket for me, and one in the back pocket for Big as well as they lock that down. Wow, that's an absolutely disgusting result, Anders. Looking hot and heavy on the server tonight.
Really well done, and great to close it out before things got a little bit out of control. You love to see it. More is coming up after the break.
I remember more Monesi clutches.
Right, yeah. You know, it was weird. It happened in Abu Dhabi. Obviously, last year, he starts with that, like, MIBR clutch.
Yeah.
But, you know, in Abu Dhabi, he had, like, a similar clutch from the same position and nearly the exact same kills versus outsiders.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was so weird. Where I was like, I've seen this exact moment before, right?
He had the one good clutch against FaZe as well. For me, that one is the best because he played it out the best.
Okay.
I think it was last Lisbon groups.
I'm also thinking of like the Inferno clutch as well when he stole bomb from outside of apartments.
That was against outsiders as well.
Yeah, right. Okay, he had two clutches, same maps.
He's just crazy in clutches. Yeah. Like even practice what he pulls off, it's, I don't know how, but he just somehow makes it work.
You can't talk G2 clutch without bringing up Monosin.
All right, coming back from the break, we've got slow motion shots of excited big players because they did win the opening map on Mirage and bring Vitality into an awkward position. Second map is going to be a nuke, but I mean, this is very impressive. Big, they haven't looked this good in a long time.
No, I think this is bringing a lot of love and a lot of excitement back to potentially some big fans that had sort of fallen out of keeping up with the team, right? Because they're really commanding respect with the run they've had at the RMR in terms of the team play and the individuals alone. And we had some individual pop-offs there from Big, man. Looking back at the scoreboard, close grouping on the top three, 20 frags for Crimbo and Tabson, by the way, who had a great game, 4-0 in opening duels. He was commanding respect, Anders.
He really was. There's something almost artful about what Tabson is doing in the server, and it always has been. There's this very sort of clean and efficient way of just handling some of these fights. It looks so sick. He's, you know, like that 3-bullet spray, pretty quick. It's just wonderful to see. So yeah, one hell of a game for Tabson. There's no question about it. And a 16-10 scoreline. So really good stuff. Now Nuke is coming up at second map. Obviously, probably going to be a lot more tricky, you have to assume. This is a very good map for Vitality. But then again, third map's Overpass, so that could also go in Big's favor ultimately. This is could be an all three mapper. Could be a very tough game for both teams.
Yeah, I think the part of my brain that's had all the experience from CS is telling me that we should end up with 3 maps. But the part in my heart, Anders, is telling me that actually maybe there's a chance Big just 2-0 this.
Ooh, okay. That would be something.
Yeah.
What a headline that would be. Big qualify for Paris over Vitality and send them down into the 2-2 bracket. I don't know how many people want to see that, but it could happen. I bet you there are a lot of French fans out there that would love to see Vitality on that stage. So we'll see. They're gonna have to qualify first. That's how it is. Something positive though, they did start up really flat on the Vitality side, and you saw Spinks started to get warmed up early. Cyber was hitting the shots as well. And they actually had Dupree up there, so they did start to have more and more people come alive, which obviously is important. Nuke should be hopefully a better start for them.
No, I would completely agree. I think logistically, right, looking at it right now, even if you forget about the prior result, should be a lot better for Vitality here on Nuke and for some of the key names that you've mentioned there. Spinks for me does a whole lot in this team. I think that he really is heavily relied on in terms of his impact fragging, and he's damn good for that. There's a reason why he kind of escalated his career so quickly, right? And even there, we were seeing the 3Ks, the 2Ks, the space that was being created for him. You could mirror that coming into Nuke. This could be a pretty sick opener for them.
Should be. It has to be, unless they want to, again, lose in a pretty spectacular fashion. Interestingly enough, I feel like Nuke should be a strong map for Big. It speaks to all of the kind of Counter-Strike that they like to play, looking at the tendencies of their opponents, figuring out little tricks for how to open up rounds. I mean, they're a team that love that kind of stuff, right? But in terms of map win rate percentage, it is Vitality that looks like the stronger team right now. But I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised if Big have a couple of tricks, and maybe that can give them the start that they need.
Yeah, I think with even some of the results we've had at the RMR for them, you can see at times they come into games looking like they really have done their prep work in terms of the anti-strat, but also in terms of how vital it feels like the timeouts are for them. At times, Gobby, he'll try him in, and it's almost like the air of confidence in the team changes quite quickly, right? Really levels them out. Tabson as well, just so vocal, so clean at what he wants to get across. And I think that's one of the nice things you get to see with this Big team. Even when it looks like they're kind of out of position, they can snap back into it.
Yeah, a lot of focus on their side that I haven't really seen in a long time, so it's going to be exciting to see. I really look forward to it. This kind of Big is the one that you sort of originally fell in love with, but then you just didn't get to have it for a really long time. So now that they're back, is it too soon, you think, to rediscover a little bit of romance for the Big team?
I don't know. I think so. I think maybe we're on that storyline, right? I like the way you put it, where you were saying about like Tabson saving German CS. It's kind of cool in like how it's been built up. And I think with all the sort of upset nations we've already had, right? The UK finally makes it to a major. Like Thomas brings it home for the boys. Then you get 9 popping off with Hades and that story. I know, obviously, you would have the sour side of the French CS not really having the cleanest run to the major, which is one thing, but for Big and for the German scene, I think that's another really cool storyline to have.
Yeah, there was so much criticism around Tabson when that was happening, because a lot of people really felt like what he was doing was not so much saving German Counter-Strike, he was more kind of throwing away his potential star career. A lot of people were saying, why is he even playing in Germany? Why doesn't he just go to a European mixed team and become some kind of superstar, right? And for a good long while, it's really felt that way. But I mean, the long investment here, you're seeing the tail end of it now, and it does look really impressive. So maybe he knew it all along.
Yeah, and I think it bodes well as well, even like if we think towards the future, obviously this being the last global offensive major, then you start to set your focus towards Counter-Strike 2. You've got so many talented young guns that have been developed in a really healthy way. I think we've seen these players only getting better. Sometimes you have younger talent that comes in with so much confidence where you get that stripped out of you. You have to play more methodical, you know, numbered-based CS. Doesn't really seem like that's the case here. It feels like they've nurtured the talent they've got and said, look, if you want to go for those more aggressive peaks, you feel like you're going to win it, visualize that frag and do it.
Yeah, just, I think a really great structure. I mean, they seem like they knew what they were doing pretty much every single round. Some of the rounds they lost, they just kind of lost the opening duels and then weren't able to recover the round. But I mean, whenever they got a little bit of an edge, they had such a great plan. They had a lot of late round calls as well, where they sort of could edge out the defense when they were on the T side. They managed to sort of figure out where the stacks were and pretty much guessed right almost every single time. I think one time they walked into the 3-man stack at B, but that was about it. Every other time, tactically, they were a step ahead of Vitality, which is hard to beat.
No, it is. So the calling's been good, the fragging's been good, and I'd say even in terms of the utility usage, that's actually one of the things that I think have given Big a bit of an extra edge in some of the 1v1s.
Yes.
Seen great plays with the Molotovs and the nades, being able to use them in quick succession, make smart decisions. So we'll see how that goes, as this is going to be a bit of a banging best of 3. Come back when we step into Nuke and see if Vitality can tussle straight back.
Here we are. Second map is coming up. We're on Nuke, and the sun might be shining. And hopefully it isn't going to be dusk too soon for Vitality, because he's getting a little bit low on the heavens there. On the other side of things, though, Big, obviously very, very good. They feel crisp right now. They look great. And if they can win the second map, that would be quite an upset.
Yeah, if they go on to take down Vitality in 2, at this point in the bracket, all the storylines behind the two teams, it would be a hell of a feat, Anders, but you've already done the hard part, right? You've got one map under your belt. You have a safety net to fall back on.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And you know what? They're being rewarded a little bit. Unicorn odds there showing us that now Big are the favorites. Obviously didn't start out that way. They've convinced more people, and they're looking impressive right now. Second map is Nuke. Third map is Overpass if we get there. But I've got to say, I'm still feeling pretty hopeful for Vitality. They do look more warmed up at the end of the map than they did at the beginning. And a little bit of a good start here, and I think they can roll this into a nice map for themselves. You want to see Spinks continue. You want to see Saiwu doing what he always does. And then what do you need, really? I mean, Magisk or Dupree or both, any one of those two, you know, stepping up. Apex, not usually the top frag, although there are games where that happens. But, you know, we're not looking for him to necessarily fulfill that role. They don't need that much, and I think they're going to be able to fight big in a good way on Nuke.
Yeah, I'd hope they also feel a lot more comfortable just in terms of the map, right? You come into Nuke, you're feeling a little bit more lively, and the faces already look a little bit happier, right? Sometimes all you need is that 5 minutes outside, reset through the LAN, and it can do wonders for the mental. It can feel like it's a whole new best of one. You take it a map at a time now from this point forward, and Magisk already trying to fire up the squad. This is what you want to see from Vitality, right?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. He is an energetic person to be around, so I could imagine that he's going to be good for that kind of thing. Obviously, Apex being the other one on the team. Let's see how this goes. Second map is coming up. It's Big starting on the CT side, Vitality on the T side, and a chance here for Big to walk into the major if they can pick up this map. It's a great start, but oh my god, he is knocking them out. Tabson will follow 4 headshots to cut down Vitality.
Oh my goodness. If there was ever a way to prove your point in the pistol round, this is certainly it. 2 frags apiece to open things up for Big, and Crimbo comes in like the Kimbo slice at the end to box the man out the server and give them the big opening pistol round they wanted. Is this even live, Anders? That was like, what, 5 seconds?
That was really, really quick. Look at this jump down. He's actually so unfavored in that. The jump down, the running into the corner, he's doing a little bit of a double take, saying, oh my god, they're already attacking. And then boom, it's done. Farmers are very, very crisp beginnings there. And Bigger on the board to begin with. Yeah, that's really, really impressive. And as always with pistol rounds, that first kill especially, oh, a little bit of a hiccup here. That first kill especially is so critical because everything from the T side gets slowed down behind that first kill. And if it goes the way of the T side, then the defense just gets blown wide open. So the fact that it goes to Big like that, and especially the follow-up as well, just a huge vector for the rest of the round.
And I think for momentum, that can definitely play a huge part of Big's success. It feels like they feed off it a lot. Sometimes you come in from the first map victory, and because you've had that bit of a break, you're still thinking, all right, we should be in good form to win this one. Your mouse is a little bit shaky and it all tumbles away. There, having the additional benefit of taking the pistol round, your mental game stays at a good high. You feel like you're crisp. You know you've got a couple of rounds to play with. It's just about avoiding the anti-eco, and that's where things could get a bit sticky. So we'll see if that could be a situation we have to deal with as we do head back into the game.
Not too worried in this one. Got a single smoke there on Vitality, but no real investment into this one. Obviously no bomb planters. They just got destroyed in the hut, so there was no way to make your way out to anything. Crimbo quite far back. Committed position on this one if they really rush him down, but with the 30 bullets of the M4A4, he's probably thinking, this is fine. I can get the kills if I need to. Let's see if he's going to be right about that. Smoke's been set up already, but it's all the way from T-spawn. Let's see where it actually lands. There we go. One random smoke. Not going to draw anyone back, it feels like. They're both here by Hell. They might be able to get down below, but I don't think they're going to get a bomb plant. There's already 2 people from the Big team that are waiting for them.
Tabson, ooh, trying to break the glass in case of an emergency, but he's been dinged down. Keto, though, does not give a damn. Runs straight through the smoke, brutalizes them with the MP9, leaves it up to Zaiwu, who has upgraded his gun. 50 seconds on the clock, so he can play for a bit more control in this. Wants to aggress towards the door.
He's trying to win the round. This is kind of sick. I think he might have got stuck in the door. I don't think he could find his way out. Farvan's going to get him down, and it's unfortunate. I actually think Cyber wanted to run in towards Decon there to try and see if he could get the kill when they were reloading, and just got stuck on the frame of the door, so a little bit unfortunate. Also, there was no head armor on Tamsin. What a scary thought in a round where they just have Glocks, so gotta be careful about that. It does make a difference at the end of the day. That looked like a round that could have been a lot more for Vitality, but Big are probably happy with it, the way that it played out, and third round is coming up.
They look good on the eye test initially. Is there an M4 in spawn? Am I losing my mind?
There was something in spawn, I think. Was it a second scout? I'm very much confused. We'll find out, I'm sure. Somebody's on the job.
Okay, could be something to have in the back of our minds there. But we are into the third. And from the eye test, it's looking a lot better for Vitality already, based off what we've seen in the initial couple of rounds. Not really the pistol, more what we had in the prior one. Here, though, you've got the smokes to work with, so smoke wall can go up outside. You can play off the back of it, create a bit of space. The scout, though, of Hyped, always crisp and clean. Tabson getting a bit mean as well. Swings in, and Magisk is the only one to put the doorstop down.
Oh, Hype just thinking about it. He'd love for that smoke to just fade and to get one more headshot. Nicely done, though. I mean, Tabson stepping out into the open when they're basically just shooting through the smoke, and he's able to pick up at least one kill. 3 versus 4. Plenty of time still for Vitality to make up their minds. They're going to be walking into the hut, giving up on the outside position. 3 people are here for Big. That's kind of interesting. Or nearly, at least. Could be a close rotation coming in from the other side. Actually, this might be a really good timing. A little bit of a boost on top. Do they see it? They do, but they can't win the fight. And now that rotation from Ramp needs to get in a little bit early. Hyped, not a headshot this time. He needs to take one more down, but he's getting overwhelmed. And that rotation never really happened. I thought that was going to be a little bit closer, but 2 versus 3 instead. And the bomb does get planted.
Down to the retake. 2 low players, sure, but one of them's a big baller. And that's going to be Spinks waiting to Moya, pushed up in the hut. He's waiting for Crimbo to come walking in, and this is going to split them. Finds the first frag, all the pressure, slips back onto Keto, realizes it's basically an unwinnable position, so has to give up the goose on that one. Vitality with a first round that looked like it should have actually been Biggs. I mean, Hyped on the scout. 2 low players, the luck of the draw is unfortunate for him, didn't hit the head, gets traded upon, and there just wasn't the rotation they needed.
Yeah, and I guess in fairness to Big, maybe the problem is that fight happens basically on the bomb side. They're so deep in there, and they don't have any grenades to slow down the push, so maybe that's why Crimbo just couldn't get there from the ramp quick enough. Either way, it's a pretty decent start here. Picking up that round should give some confidence over the Vitality side and make them feel like, all right, some part of the plan is working already. Yeah, this little boost here is real interesting. Looked like his weapon could have nearly blocked the point of view there. Good job. Some relief on Apex. 2-1 the scoreline. And they're going to have the M4 and not much else.
Yeah, supported by the 2 nades, one being the smoke that's already dashed out, and the other, the Molotov for a little bit later on into the round. Just USPs for the rest. So Big's chances at an all-time low in this one. Vitality looking to link 2 rounds back-to-back. You don't really want to force the issue too hard. See if Big play into you, if they go for a bit of an ego challenge, something that lets you get the first frag for free, and then play off the back of that.
Yeah, Keto's hearing those shots coming out down towards the ramp, and he's probably thinking, okay, well, if I can find a shot here with the M4, then we're in a good position. You've got to try and stay a little bit active with it. Is he going to get boosted up? That's a big risk. I don't normally like this. It sort of feels like you're just leaving it all to chance at this point in time. Yeah, sure, if they show up at the ramp, maybe you get the spray down, but if they don't, that rifle's just not doing anything. Okay. First casualty of the round is Tapson walking right into Spinks, and they've got a bit of stack on the bomb side, but with all USPs, doesn't really matter that much. It's going to be hard to find anything. The M4 now committed to the site, so they're going to be down in the back here, but there's nowhere to step. They try and swing, and Spinks will spray them all down. That is kind of the problem of being back there. It's just there's no real estate for you to really live on.
Just trapped. And sometimes, when it's a caged animal, with its back against a wall, it feels like it has no escape route. That's when it really does go ruthless, Anders. That's when they're at their most dangerous. But in this situation, the animal handler was Spinks. He's got his license, comes in, cleans up, rehomes them, gives them guns, and lets them play out another round as the game goes 2-2.
Not really that much effect for the M4 vent drop to be thrown in there. You love to see it. It's one of my favorite parts about this map. It does make it very confusing. First of all, because the CTs need to figure out, they need to be sure they actually preferably want to count on how many people dropped. I think they're gonna have an idea. I mean, they're gonna know that the vent was blown open, so they probably know that much. But no one's rotated down yet, so really scary position to be in if you're on the CT side here. You can see Tabson is down looking for it. He's gonna try and see if he can hunt anyone down. Cyber drops through the smoke, so still a good start after all for Big. Oh wow, he actually found that straight through. Comes back, Tabson with a double headshot, and they're just gonna ignore Spinks down here, saying, you know what, you can take the lower part of the map, but we'll take everything else. Tabson unbelievably clean on this one.
Boy, oh boy. I mean, we've been complimentary to Spinks, but again, Tabson's the one that wants to be the talk of the town, mirroring his stats, but with one less death off the back of his hat trick into this round, playing off of the info that was commed across towards outside. And that's fantastic, man.
Almost getting the quad here. Vegas is going to be crouching in to try and find him. Grenade, it's not going to kill him, but may want to fall back just to make sure you don't lose too much. Oh, it's a team kill, in fact. But it doesn't matter too much. I think still really good job. Well, a good way to handle the fact that you lose control of the lower part of the map. They didn't look like they were panicked, which I think is that's the thing that really kills that CT defense, is when people just start running all over the place, which can easily happen. But this is very smooth indeed.
Especially this fight here, back onto Spinks. You're thinking he has the angle for this one. We know how quick he can be. Apex showing the emotion again as well. Okay, also this is fun. Height. He's got the funds. He's invested it into an AWP. And he's going to be stationed towards ramp. A heavy grouping from Vitality outside early.
To be perfectly honest, I mean, Apex and Debris are both on 0 kills. Magisk is on 1. So it's Spinks and Cyberwood that have really done anything so far. The fact that Vitality even have 2 rounds, when you look at that, is kind of interesting. Oh, this is making me nervous. Just a little bit nervous.
I'm feeling you. This is already starting to be a bit squeaky bum time-esque with how it's played out. So 1:10 on the clock. Utility finally pulled. Outside smoke wall goes up, trying to sell the idea you really want to take and fight for that, but the bomb is stationed back towards lobby with their focus set potentially towards ramp or the A site.
Talking about tricks, that little boost up out in the garage. They're actually going to get the kill on Apex to follow it up. Tito hugging that silo, but he's going to get treated immediately. Crimbo just holding the angle, and it's a 3-on-3, but the bomb should be following here. Quite a few grenades, really, on the big side to try and retake this with. This might not be a bad position.
Oh, I like the setup as well, the way they've commed it across. Hype on the AWP with the util sets himself up for the pop flashes so that Tabson and co can go in. Scrimbo and Tabson, are they handy with a steal? Can they earn their keep in this round? Flashes will go over, close Molotov as well to try and force them off the angle if they're towards the back box or just playing underneath the lip. Tabson clearing, Spinks with the first, gets into the back line, sprays down on the Magist. There's the trade from Hyped, dives down. Looking now towards Hut, has to find this quickly, but Zywoo ready for the reposition, and Vitality there. Get through the round with just one man left standing.
Man, I need a replay of that 1v1. He did have the kit, right? And he probably could have tapped the bomb to put some pressure on Cyber. Did he expect that he was already down? He might have been thinking that Cyber was running around the silo. It looked like he was hunting somebody down that just didn't even exist. You can see he's looking the other way, basically. That's a little bit confusing. It's a very, very close round, that one. And some of the Molotovs, you might think, I mean, even if they don't actually land in positions where any of the Vitality players are, but it's still really helpful coming in for the retake that you don't have to check any of those corners. You can be focused on everywhere else but those 2 corners. So it's still helpful, but obviously not as helpful as they would have wanted for the retake. Tied up 3-3, and Money's looking a little bit grim on the big side. Vitality scream of relief, but they do have that one. The spray, it's still dangerous. Gonna pick up the AWP to try to hunt him down, and he no-scopes both of them. That's absolutely outrageous. 3 versus 4, and Spinks has just got away with the murder.
Oh, this is a robbery. Spinks saying, give me the loot, as he pops off there with the no-scopes as they push onto him. Hyped, he was the man that started the round, but now he goes down like a ton of bricks. Magisk with a headshot. That's despicable. That should be the round in the bag, really.
How do you even explain that? Crimbo and Tabson, 2 versus 4 now. Deagle and an MP9, and I can understand Vitality calling a bit of a freeze here because there's been a lot of aggression happening in the lobby. You don't want to get flanked in the middle of anything now. I don't get it. I mean, that's such a great beginning for Hype getting that one. And then the spray emptying the AK, and then Spinks is like, it doesn't matter. It turns out I'm a hybrid AWPer as well, and none of you knew. Shotgunning them away.
Big Papa Pump. That's what they call him. The 2 frags there, ridiculous. And also for Big, it was just the fact they really forced the issue, right? On the heart push, you've got the first frag, sure, you were kind of locked in combat off the back of that, but they did get away. They suffered a lot of damage, sure, on the spam, but you were back on the site. Again, they go back in, and they'll be regretting that one.
Yeah, in hindsight, that's the kind of round you wish you could have taken a quick little break in the middle of it just to discuss what exactly is the best move here. Scoreline is 4-3 now in favor of the Vitality side. And again, when I'm looking at the scoreboard, it's kind of crazy. Spinks has got 12 kills. It's the reason why they have these rounds at the moment. That needs to change, though. I mean, this is still a worrying sign. It's great that Spinks is doing all of this work, but 135 ADR, that's crazy. Bullets down to 3. He's like, nope, I don't need 3 more bullets. This will do instead. Sick. Absolutely sickening.
And he must be feeling like Lord Kronos in that time, right? Like literally just slowing down time on the last peak because it felt like it should have been over.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, here we go then. Are these sustainable rounds, though? That's kind of the question we're asking. If Spinks is only the one that's standing tall for Vitality, needs an extra bit of oomph, needs them to rise up alongside him. Big into this round. Don't really have much to play with. Just Crimbo on the MP9. So you want to get through this as cleanly as possible. That's the win condition for Vitality.
It's a fabulous round, though, for the rest of Vitality to warm up some of their players. You know, this should be a little bit easier. You see the pre outside getting a kill on this one. It's the first kill of the map for him. So, yeah, just even if they don't have a lot of impact, these kills, it doesn't change the fact that, you know, psychologically, it still makes you feel better. You're like, okay, here we go. I know what I'm doing. And Dupree was playing pretty good on the first map, so it's not like we're not having him in the server at all today. Just need to get everyone fired up behind it. Crimbo and Farv on the left here. Going to be 5-3 when the dust settles on this round. And that's really good for Vitality. I mean, I think it's been a shaky start, but in terms of the rounds, they're getting them.
Especially on the T side as well. Recovering from the result in the prior map. Looking pretty good. Building yourself a bit of a buffer to work with. Just got to keep them coming. And this should be a 5th. Obviously nothing really to do for the remaining players on Big. And for Vitality, how clean can they keep this? Will there be any frags towards the end? Potentially a bit of a swing from Farven. He could try and go up the ladder if he wants. Peek from main. Maybe a recovery mission here. What's that? Just the Deagle.
Yeah, hiding the USB as evidence on top of the container. And Crimbo down here. Saving an MP9. Really, it doesn't feel great, but if you look at the money, it makes sense. And the MP9 could be pretty decent on this map. You can get some work done pushing into the hut or even down the ramp or anything like that. Ooh, he's going to get found, though. Spinks, of course. Back at it again, 14-4. Man, what a day he's having.
Yeah, he looks really good. Even back on Mirage, right? It was his praises we were singing. He was the one that started to find his form the earliest. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he just got so damn consistent at being stone cold in Counter-Strike, man. Like the run on Ents, where everyone instantly realized, like, okay, this is a guy to watch for a long time now. Makes his move over to Vitality, proves that that roster move was a great decision in terms of his individual. He just seems like a really nice guy outside of the game as well. I think that's the added benefit.
Yeah, you love that. Vegas quick on the spray. Apex is hearing the runaway. It's tempting. It's so tempting. But instead of running him down, he's going to take this map control. Walking into Mini. There's a guy right on the hut. Surely dead. Keto. And oh, what a great flick down from Apex. That opens everything up. And they should save this Big. I don't think it's worth going for it. Tabson, he didn't get the message in time. And it's going to get blown up by Spinks, who's now up to 15. But that is one hell of an opening. And it could have gone both ways, right? You could have made a justification for Apex to jump to try and catch Hyped because he did hear the run back out there, but instead, the map control on the bomb side instead is what he got.
And that commands respect already, right? If Apex is starting to hit shots like this, then everyone on the roster is going to be thinking, all right, yeah, it's our time to shine now. The game's on, let's get back into it, keep ourselves level-headed. For Hyped and Crimbo, all they're thinking about is the next one. They know this is gone. At this point, it's just a formality, and Crimbo might actually be tested. They're walking back towards Trophy Room, and Spinks, with how good he's been, he probably wins this fight. Doesn't really clear it, though. Bit of a light clear. Has a double take, doesn't work well, but Apex will still be able to find that frag.
Yeah, Hyped out here. Still worth it for a couple of guns this way, just to try and bring him down if you can. They do have some flashbangs. I mean, if they set it up, they are not in that much of a hurry. The bomb is only just about to go up. There's one flash, a follow-up. The third one will do the trick, and Dupree will take him down. Good usage of utility at the end, and they will clear out that AWP. And yeah, the way that Spinks was speaking in that corner, Jordan Nothing Gilbert once sort of made a distinction between peeking with or without intent. And I think that's a really good way to think about it. Sometimes you're just kind of going through the motions and you're like, oh, I'm looking here, I'm looking here. I'll just, but yeah, peeking a corner with intent looks and feels different, and the result is usually quite different as well. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this before. We were talking about the idea of not only sort of visualizing it, but also vocalizing, like, I am going to clear this angle. So you're fully committed to it, and you go through the motions rather than just sort of roboting it, where your brain's like, all right, yeah, clear slightly, right looks good, left looks good.
Say it out loud. You mean to talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, give yourself instructions if you need to. That's great.
Announce those frags. Apex certainly did. You would have heard him screaming with that one, man. The 2K there finished off to round it out to a hat trick at the end. And this is suddenly a bit of a difference as well. For Big, the body language was looking at an all-time high, super happily giggling during the rounds back on Mirage. Vitality were the ones that looked like they were dealing with the emotions. Now they're riding the high, and they go fast out towards the A site. The 5-7 only says goodnight to 1, as this is looking like it could be a quick round, unless Tabson has something to say about it. Starts tapping off with a P250, but Jisk wants none of that, and it's all down to Crimbo.
Fair play to Tabson. He did actually have the headshot on Megas, but it wasn't enough. Crimbo 1 versus 3, and unlikely to win this round. Get a surprise kill, getting a little bit close, but they've got everything covered at the moment. Aggressive push, the kind you love to do when in just being exchanged left and right. He's going to be good for the headshot right there. His 6th kill of the map.
Okay, so a 5-round spree. It's looking good. They've got gas in the kitchen, Anders. They've got the pan. They're cracking in the eggs. You know, the breakfast is starting to cook. This is what you need. The bacon will come next if they keep this up.
Personally find that bacon is, you know, better in the oven, slow.
Okay, right there. I've got a theory with this.
Go on.
I do agree with you, but to a certain degree. I feel like it's good if you're making another meal that has bacon as an element, where you quickly cook it in the oven, add it like a burger or something.
It's gotta be slow cooked. It's the thing. Like you gotta really give it time.
Yeah.
That's where people make the big mistake with bacon, is they just.
Because you fall into that
too
trap
much
of
of a
like
hurry,
the
you know?
American breakfast, where it's just like really crispy, and you're like, this just isn't bacon anymore.
No, that's the problem. You don't want. That's what you don't want, right?
Yeah.
You don't want that overcooked. That's too much. Here we go, though. Oh, Favin, he is cooking up there. Molotov right down on top. Flashbang. That's actually Apex Flashbang that's helping out a little bit. That's unfortunate. A 5 versus 3 to begin with, and a delayed attack onto the A bomb site. Another way to try and dodge the utility is just to wait a little bit, but it doesn't work this time in their favor at all. Not a single casualty on the side of Big.
So Vitality there take the fire metaphor about cooking a little bit too literally, and accidentally fired up Big to bring them back into the round with the Molotovs that were burning on Hut, because they've still got 5 players alive. And it's just Zai Wu, that's who is in this position. Oh, he's about to get flanked as well. Oh, does actually land the throw on the AWP, so at least that one's out of the map.
That is pretty funny. Almost guarantee that if you try to cook bacon using a Molotov, it's going to be a really bad result. I think you're going to be able to taste that.
Probably a bit of glass in there as well, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if the food safety people would sign off on that one.
Probably not. Gotta be careful on that one. kind tilt, kind of pressure. So no tilt, no pressure.
Yeah, that was good. The live translation.
I mean, I feel like I can't get credit for that. Should be pretty obvious, but I did take German in school for 7 years, or maybe more than that, actually.
Oh, so there's enough of it floating around in your brain.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Farvin, a little bit of a quick trade. If we look at one, Spinks, oh, he's gonna get shut down. That's a big kill. Magus is gonna take over a Hype. One missed shot here and he's dead. He's not even getting the chance. Magus just cracking his skull and leaving Crimbo in a 1 versus 3. Just peering through the blinds in the dead of night, Jackie.
He's outside the window, Anders, and he's looking on in. I don't think he likes what he sees, though. And this is going to be him having to slip away back into the bushes and hold on for another day. His Vitality will move on with that round 8 in the bank. And this is a whole new squad again now, right? This is looking a lot more like the sort of matchup we expected. Now we can start building that narrative. We can start talking about the French team going to the major. We can start thinking big picture here.
Super frustrating for Big to lose to these A rushes. I have absolutely no doubt. That's just got to be heartbreaking because the protocol for stopping this kind of thing really is get the Molotovs down, get the HEs on top. When the Molotovs are about to burn out, you put down smokes, and they shouldn't really be able to get through. And when it happens quite a bit, you just feel like, well, what are we supposed to do here? What is the plan? I think I asked Maui Snake at one point about sort of, you know, favorite strategies. He actually did say that kind of A execute, partially because it does force the CT side suddenly to allocate a lot more resources to the A bomb side, which opens up your playbook on the T side to you know, exploit the ramp, exploit outside, do a lot more things. So yeah, shout out to Maui Snake.
Big Maui. Oh man. Well, the Hawaiian shirts could be going on for Vitality if they can maintain this, Anders, as they are looking damn hot. They might need to take a couple of layers off. It's an 8-4 split. But a buy's back in and hyped. This is looking more like the man we know, playing an aggressive angle, pushed up, stationed. Ooh, Crimbo on the cross, walks in front of the scope. Zywoo swings in for 2. And that's not the way you wanted to start. His play pulled out as well as the M4 of Tabson seemed to be in a prime position, but he's silenced by Spinks. And this round could be dead in the water already.
Yeah, I mean, that is exactly what we just talked about. The suddenly showing up somewhere else and just being absolutely ready for it. They are, wherever they go right now, they seem to find success. They've had the outside drop in a minute. They had the straight rushes to the bomb side. They had the vent drop, and now the time they push ramp. It's the whole map right now is one giant playground for them. Also a nuclear power plant, but
That's second, you know.
yeah,
The swing set is the most important bit.
You know, famously, what they say: one man's nuclear power plant is another man's playground. It's a classic saying.
It's a good quote. I heard it a lot growing up. It makes sense. And I suppose the comparison here for Big would be much like a rundown fairground. There's just not a lot to go on for them at the minute.
No, everywhere is dangerous. Rusty nails, all the good things.
The roller coaster's got no wheels.
Yeah, it's not great at the moment. It really isn't. And I'm surprised. I think looking at the map win rate for both of these teams, you could probably guess that Vitality were going to be slightly favored, but not to this extent. This is not quite what I was expecting. So I'm a little bit surprised. But I'm not super worried. I'm pretty sure Big are going to be good on Overpass. So at the end of the day, they're going to have a third crack at it. Not that it's necessarily done on this one yet, but just to zoom out a little bit, in case there are any big fans out there that are panicked, although you guys should be used to it by now. It's rough being a big fan. It has been rough for a couple of years.
It's a hard life. Ooh, what's going on the A stream?
They're already up on map, Monty, and they're about to 2-0 Forza. I picked Forza for this one. I really enjoy that team. I think they're really good, but Monty's, they're super cracked, obviously. Boros is, he's insane.
Oh,
this
dude.
guy is nuts.
Butcher Boros. That man is a human hatchet, Anders. He just cuts open bomb sites. It's sick to see him performing so well, especially at a huge event. His second run ever at an RMR. They might actually take that one. We'll stick with this, though.
I love the fact that he's been like showing up to airports, trying to get to events for a while, and every time they're like, no, go back. Like, you don't have the right visa, whatever it is. And every time he's like just driving back, you know, in the cab back to his house. And now finally they let him through one airport, and he's like, boom, I'm here. I'm a superstar. Let me go. I'm just out hunting for kills all the time. It's sick.
No, it's really cool, dude. Such a young, nice guy as well. Had a bit of time in the UK scene. Sick to see him really thriving. Yeah,
seems like a really chill guy. So more of that, more Boros. We are going to see if it keeps going up this way. Ito holding close. Wanted to throw out a grenade. It cost him his life. And Farvin dead, trying to avenge the kill. Hyped with the AWP, but saving this AWP is probably the main job right here as we're in the 14th round. You want to get into the 15th so you can get some damage done. So they're already escaping in 10 rounds in the first half for Vitality.
Yeah, so a 10-5 looking like it could be on the cards if Big can reinvent themselves. Otherwise, that's Vitality that will have an even larger lead at the end of this first half. And at the minute, with the way they're playing, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the outcome we had here. You know, we were touching on the fact that the roster needed some extra players to support the beacon of hope that is Spinks. Now you've got that. Magisk, in some key rounds, he's had impact. Apex himself, even 6 to 8. And they've not just been throwaway frags. They have been impact kills. And ZywOo, 9 to 5, more so rifling on the T side. But we'll see what he's got in store for us when we switch on over into the second half. Sounds like a jump scare.
Yeah, it was. Right at the end, but Dupree not going to get too caught off guard there. Able to pick it up. Wow, what a great way to revive the team here for the Vitality side. Even in the beginning, it was all Spinks for the first 7 rounds, I want to say. Scoreline was like 4 to 3 at one point, and Spinks had 12 or 13 kills. He was doing everything that they needed to do. But now, he's got some backup. He's still playing very well. He's up to 18. Actually really stupid, isn't it? My God, look at everybody else. Nobody's even at 10.
He's just so far ahead. So crisp, so clinical, but hyped. Always looking to try and find those opening fights again.
Yeah.
Lands the right hook, right? Takes one out of commission. Couldn't he have a second for free? Ooh. I see that you've played hide on the silo before. Tabson, he's played hide in plain sight as well, and they're going to be roaming through outside. They drop down in front of him as well. Oh, Tabson with 2. A surprising affair, leaving it just down to Spinks and ZywOo.
What a genius play from Tabson. Unbelievably high risk, but the reward is practically a triple kill. Might as well. I'm going to say that. This is Tabson's triple kill. Doesn't matter who gets the last one. That is so sick. The trigger discipline to make sure you don't jump too quick. And it's 10 to 5 at the end of the half in favor of Vitality. Second half is coming up after the break.
Okay, so I have 5 rounds, and if
it's not going to be easy to drop crowd from that spot. Boros knows that, so he strikes, he walks out, he's not ready for Shelfie, but Boros has picked up the initial A defender, but Shelfie's waiting for multi-kills, and he's got this timing around the back. SDY picked off, but the rest of his teammates have already got through to this A site, and the remaining forces are coming back to try and bolster this post-plant defense. Krasnal has to hold the site long enough, and he turns around, Result stops him, and now they tap 10-second on the defuse for him. Jerry has got the kit for 4s. But DemQ and Waro2k trying to throw themselves at this. Waro hits the first shot, and Zorte will prevent them from qualifying in this round. 4s get back in on the retake.
Good defense from 4s to be able to come back through. It looked like it was all about to fall apart when Shelfie is only able to get the 1 there. That felt like the power position in the backlines unaccounted for. They got to that default plan. He was going to do so much damage. But you can see, because of the space they got, Boros was able to get in fast again. But the rotation, Zorte wasn't far behind. He was in towards heaven and got there so quickly. Boros is caught off by the quick shot from him this time round, and it keeps 4s in it.
Multi-buy immediately, still solid, and quickly they move towards the B site. Result once again, under pressure. Boros opens up yet again, even with the weaker gun crits, the space needed for Monty. They've got 2 into this, and this is looking better, but Krat denies the bomb plant, and Shelfie will assist. The player count evened out to an equilibrium, a 3 versus 3 on either side. Krat runs back, loses the fight versus Waro, and the bomb's still loose at the bridge.
Zorte's got it locked on down. He's the man that's going to keep them in this. His teammate's so low. Flash comes through. Zorte delivers another. Bomb still in his hands, and he's looking for more. Zorte, but no! It's some die young, and it's Monte going to Paris.
It's incredible. What a story. What a grind. SDY has to leave the Navi project, has to go back and find his way back to the top of Counter-Strike. It didn't take long for him to come through again. But an absolute beast, leading his team, leading his country to a major in Paris, and they have an opportunity. They have a chance to qualify as legends. The Ukrainian core of 3, and Boros from Jordan moving through, looking so incredibly strong. What a performance in this RMR. He looked like one of the best players we've ever had in an
Here we go.
All right. Big Tabson on your screens. And this is the last play that he made at the end of the half, Anders, that set us skyrocketing towards our second half, expecting big things from Big, as he went absolutely nuclear on that one. Some clean kills to put them back into a good spot, 10-5 at the half to keep it competitive. And we'll see where he can build from that and how Big can try and keep things moving in the right direction. You can see God B on your screens right now, being very vocal, trying to get them back into the right mindset and keep things level going into the second half.
Yeah, I'm back as well now. It's a good time. This second half should be really kind of like a walk of the park for Vitality. CT side, what is going on? Did they stab him twice?
I think if they double lefted him.
They think they double lefted him. That's not how you want to be starting here on the big side. Vitality, if they win the pistol, it's almost surely a straight shot to pick up the map. You lose the pistol, Big have a shot at getting back into it. There's still something to fight for here on the German side. They're setting up in the lobby, ready to go for it. A little bit of a trick play down towards the ramp. I'd love to see that play out with the kind of flashbang set up there, but I'm not sure if we're ever going to be seeing that, because it looks like they're going to be opening this door and running straight onto the site.
So we're trying to play anti-flash early, but the rest of them come barreling in through the hut, and he hits head, spamming away to leave them all dead. Back towards the door, finds the frag, still actually is able to block him out of the sight with the door as well, and the quick flick. Oh, Apex, he's going off. There we go. Look at him.
It's one of the funniest things about watching Vitality. I'll never get bored of this. What a round from Saiwu. That's sick, isn't it? And now they're in a position here. This, all right, it's just a straight backstab right between the shoulder blades.
Dude, I love this. Literally shutting the door and blocking it so it opens inwards as well. Like, the fact you're doing that mid whilst killing them all. Oh, God, Apex.
He's fired up. It makes everyone excited. Here we go. Dupree's jumping down right beneath the button. Tech9 was waiting for him. A bit uncomfortable. Farvan's picked up 2 kills. You've got to be careful up here. But Cyber was really quick with the adjustment. Not panicked at all. And Crimbo, the last one left. Some good shots coming through. And the reload here might be the end of him. Apex comes jumping through the smoke. He is fired up now. And they want to close this map before Big even get a chance to know what happened.
Apex, the acrobat, jumping on the stage and jumping in the server to send that round to their back pocket. Okay. Vitality, looking like they're already thinking about the future. They want to move into Overpass and have a potential to win this series in a 2-1 fashion. For Big right now, it's been a little bit rough since we've come into the second half, and it's going to get even worse. Just Deagles to work with here.
Yeah, the fact that Saibu started to join Spinks up there at the top of the scoreboard is overall really bad news. And I mean, to be honest, as well on the Big side, they don't have that many kills. Tabson's still pretty good at 14. Farman is at 11, but it kind of is a big drop after that, down to the other 3. And that's not going to be working in the long term here. Nice. Just straight banged out Magus down to the bottom of ramp. Spinks happy to get a little bit of an assist. He probably would have won that fight anyway. Good burst fire out in the yard.
It's good pastime activity. Bit of burst firing in the back garden.
Yeah, you know, it's a safe environment out there. Bullets probably contained, hopefully.
In the garden fence.
Yeah, exactly.
That wood's quite thick. But here, it's the Deagle that needs to find resounding success in the back garden as they are out towards our side. Crimbo waiting for a peek, and Spinks is low. One lucky bullet would have been the difference, but instead, Faven, he opened up the round.
Yeah, they're all coming out here. It's not his milkshake, but his MP9 that brings all the boys to the yard. Farvin, okay. That's something. A little bit of damage. It would be more exciting if they weren't this far behind in rounds, because then the economic damage is going to be probably a little bit more impactful, but so good. I mean, so far so good for Farvin, right? 14 kills now. Essentially in a 1 versus 4 that he's turned into a 1 versus 2. And if he had more time, it'd be really exciting for him to try and do it, but he just realized it can't be done at this point. So it'll still be 13-5 in favor of Vitality.
Nice from Farvin. Outside saying, I'm better than yours, as he will be able to find those 2 frags on the milkshake maneuvers. But Vitality take the round, and that's the key talking point. They're going to keep building up on what they've already established here on the CT side. But the one good thing is, for Big, Farvin's really woken up coming into this second half. Already with the Tech 9, we found entries that didn't look like he should have secured. They're still making a meal out of the dying moments of the round. That's a whole lot better. He's got 14 frags to his name, joining Tabson in joint first place there on Big.
Yeah, Farvin, another one of these players picked up on Big, promised to be the next big thing in German CS. Same with Crimbo. And initially when it happened, we didn't really see that impact, but you know, better late than never and all of that. A little bit of a tag on the Crimbo, leaves one player alone. I think that's Farvin that's pushed up already into the hut, so kind of a weird position to be in. Keto, a lot of space here, pushing towards Mini. It is being watched by Dupree. I was gonna say he had a grenade in hand. That would have been really scary if they actually peeked him. Okay.
Ooh. All right. Bit of a trade of frags. Tabson outside, collapsed back onto Apex. Dupree caught with the timing as well, as he had the confidence but couldn't quite take the man down. Crosshair drawn off the angle as well, waiting for the face on the right-hand side, just going in one by one, funneling themselves into the meat grinder, but it is Spinks left, and he's always good for these rounds.
If he manages to get the grenade down, that's almost too much. He could kind of medium throw it and kill Crimbo instantly. Of course, he can't really know that, and it's an unlikely guess. Oh, instead, the grenade betrays him. It's a classic Counter-Strike scenario. You pull out the grenade, and for whatever reason, that's always when they peek you.
Yeah, the timing of Counter-Strike is a very fickle mistress, Sanders, and the second that pin was pulled, his pants were taken clean off him as they swing in and grab themselves another one. So Big with 6. At least finding something to build off, a little bit of confidence even as well. Because even if Vitality do shut this down in a fairly dominant fashion, if you can get a couple rounds back, start to reset the mental a little bit, it can do a lot for you in the third map.
Yeah, I agree. That is always something to be fighting for. You don't ever want to leave a map thinking, wow, we just got, especially if it's mechanically, we just got no kills. We just got destroyed. You want to have a feeling that, okay, we had a slow start, and that's forgivable. But if we had, you know, the kind of ending, if we started that way, if we actually managed to do that next time, we're going to be fine. Keto, Molotov, Apex hiding in the corner. A little bit of a spam with the deagle. And the old one would have got that kill. The new one, maybe not so much.
Dupree on a CZ. I really don't like the fact we're starting to see more CZs creeping back in, man. Like,
makes you worried?
Yeah, it makes me feel so uncomfortable because you see situations where it's like, yeah, you've got the flank, you're in a good spot. That CZ's just always going to let you down.
Yeah, I don't like it as a flanking weapon. There are some people that are really sick holding corners, you know, like holding the entry to Inferno B or something like that with a CZ and you just spray down people left and right. But I've never been able to use that gun, so I'm with you. I don't trust it at all.
No, dedicated 5.7 user.
Exactly.
Between us, we're a what, a 14-10?
Yeah, I think that's the sophisticated, that's the civilized approach to use the 5.7, you know?
Yeah. Ooh. Well, hello.
Barbarians that use the CSET 75.
Well, he just pounced into that round, hits the club over the head of Keto. That's all it is, just the one frag with the CZ. So the rest are big in a pretty good spot, really. You've got the rotations cut off, you've got the bomb down. Zawu's the only one with a real rifle on the M4. Magisk has the FAMAS. They've all got armor as well, so holding on to what you've got is the best case scenario.
Yeah, you might as well. There's no point in throwing this away. Spinks taking a look, and Zawu's down here with him on the ramp. It doesn't look like Big are going to be hunting very aggressively either, which, if you look at the money left in the bank on their side, you can understand why. It's not that much to play on, and they have a long way back into this one. Going to be 7-13, though. I mean, they're doing some work here. You have to respect it. And if they can keep the economy low on Vitality, then any comeback is just always going to be made so much easier on the T side if the CTs have to save every other round. Wow. And even after that, no money really to speak of on Vitality. They might have to take a little bit of a deep breath here.
Yeah, this is a bit of a dry start. Almost actually feels like it's kind of mirroring the scoreline and the stance we had on Mirage, right? Where Big were the ones in the lead, and we were debating how long does this go on for before it starts to feel like it is a winnable game. It is a game where the pressure's applied. We'll keep an eye on it. Into this one, of course, really isn't too much in terms of Vitality's arsenal to believe that they're going to win this. Early tags through the smoke go both ways, as Magisk, he's left in a daze on 41.
Difficult fight with the FAMAS. Obviously, this is why the M4A1 is preferred. If you all don't know the traces coming through, you can't really see them, except for a couple of bullets every once in a while. But FAMAS, much easier to guess what's happening on the other side. Flash and an M4 on Saiwu, so maybe if they can wheel him into a good position. He's in the middle of the bomb site right now, so they're going to be close to a fight.
Map control. Slowly being taken towards outside, but Big really dying this one into the bleeding moments of the clock. Keto on the reposition as well. He's got control of Secrets, but Spinks is down there, and Magisk, he's been lurking this entire time. Finally plays his card as he peeks out, tackles Tabson, and Spinks, he's got the info now. He's walking in, the Prince stream, but will it be a stream of kills?
Oh, the timing might be real good. Flanking with the Deagle. They are kind of watching for it. Crimbo. That's really great awareness. You don't want to be giving up a round like this one. 30 seconds left, though, and they need to get on a bomb plant. This is kind of... I'm still really a bit worried. That M4 is at the back of the bomb site. They don't have the grenades. They have the Molotovs to get rid of him. Magus is going to be going down, but look at the setup here with the USPs in front, taking all of the attention away. Saiwu just has to swing, and there's the one. He still has 7 bullets left, and Keto's on the other side, low on health, and Saiwu, it's an easy pickup. 3 for him, and a huge steal for Vitality.
7 bullets might as well be an additional magazine for Saiwu with how crisp he's been. Hitting heads there, great crosshair placement, good read on the round. Mechanics through the roof, and Vitality, they grabbed that round, Anders. It was looking scary, but even just with a solo M4, it works wonders.
Yeah, that double setup of the USP, and it's because of the angling, right? You got the elevation boost behind, but when you peek into the first USP, you're exposed to the second one. It's just such a distraction. It's very hard to deal with. Expecting event drop, perhaps, or at least would have been ready for it. 14-7, as Vitality are 2 rounds away from pushing this best of 3 onto a third map.
10 kills, and we could end up on Overpass. That's what we're looking towards. For Big, they're still living in the moment. Keto outside, tapping with the M4, the AK rather, as he will slay the first man. Hits the bullet straight between the eyes of Magisk. So okay, you've got a bit of an edge here. I mean, Apex is on 7 HP as well, but Saiwu, he's roaming. He dropped through the vent early, peeks up through Secret, but it is no secret how good he can be.
How did Tabson get here? He's just managed to walk all the way around. He's up in heaven at the moment. This is easily a round-winning position if they make even a single mistake here on the CT side. They're down below with 2 out of 3 players for the defense, expecting that this is where the bomb is going to be, and they're not wrong about it either. They managed to put themselves in a good position, still worried about the potential flank from Tabson later on, but I think he's gone back down. I think he's just... Yeah, he's going to go back and see if he could join them, so no real flank happening from that side. Interesting that he didn't see a single person from that entire push. And now the smoke is up. They've got to get this space to get the bomb down. There we go on the right side of the silo. It's all worked out so far. Spinks will get 1 before he's instantly traded.
Clean connection from Crimbo, but it's Dupree that we should be worried about as Tabson, more like Tabson in this instance, hyped as well with another frag to close that one down. So Big. Even if you think they could be out of the game, they're still showing that they've got stock, they've got room to breathe.
Oh, Tabson, this game has been crazy for him. He was so good on Mirage. And on this one, he's doing the same thing. I think he's up to 19 kills right now. If you're on the big side here and you're hoping for some sort of a late comeback, I mean, you're putting all your hopes on Tabson to keep playing this way and for Farmer to join him just as much. 19-15 on Tabson, it's pretty impressive.
find these rounds kind of iffy though, man. When Vitality just have the AWP on ZywOo and the 5-7s, at times it feels like Big kind of play into that a bit. We've seen them being slightly overzealous and some of the angles that they're fighting for. Vitality seem to win out on them here. Very heavy stack towards the A side. Close grouping with the pistols. Apex lurking outside towards CT Blue. And Keto, he's been pretty good for these duels, but we'll see if he can even find an opportunity.
Going to be hard to hold these positions for a long time for Vitality, because a lot of this, if they really go for the A-bomb side, that is going to be catching fire before any real fight happens. I'm assuming that they would throw Molotov on the roof onto Dupree before they try to enter onto the A-bomb site, so probably he's going to have to get out there. But instead, they're pushing Magus down towards the ramp. He's not really letting go of it, though. Comes back, tries for the headshot. That's a really nice idea. Might as well try and optimize it. You don't have a lot of chances of winning this round anyway. You need some deagle headshots like that to even get things started.
Let's give him the breathing room to reposition ZywOo as well, and he's in a good spot here, scoped in, ready to strike, hits the first. Oh, back in for the second bite, but hyped. Ratios him, not even with the AWP that he's known for, on the Kalashnikov instead, and he can get that gun back now. They're bleeding into the site. Dupree waiting with a right hook, strikes on the first, looks for the second, and the backup of Spinks will work wonders for them. Crosshair drawn for tabseN as Apex slips into the back of the site. Couldn't hold the line, and it's all on Magisk in the 1v2. Oh, they give him a fighting chance, but Keto turns.
Man, that got close. Not a lot had to go wrong there. I think if Magus could have been a little bit closer, then him and Apex could have worked together for the sandwich, or he could have just hit the headshot there. Either way, it's close, but not quite close enough. Big will still pick up the round, and they must be feeling the pressure now. 9-14. Vitality, they've had a couple of rounds here where it's been not the greatest buy, not the most equipment. Scary stuff when you hear that deagle bullet just whiz right by. And they still just have the USPs here. They did buy everything in the previous one, so it's a way back in here for Big. Classic boost outside with these 4 people.
Rather than the tank, they've gone for more of the half track. 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top.
True. Nothing there. Ooh, all right.
Hello.
He actually tried to throw the AK away for Apex to stop him from picking it up. He did. Spinks also gets a kill on the farm, and out of all the rounds you could potentially lose, this one you don't want to be doing, but Apex with a wallbang shot. Oh my god, he just trapped hype there and eventually got the headshot on him. And Crimbo goes down. Apex is on the tear. He's got 3 kills in the round, all up to tabseN to try and bring it back for his team. The spray is good, and he catches one more. Finally goes down to Magisk. That is a tragic round for Big to lose, but my god, Apex wanted it.
Yeah, the way he was playing that was absolutely savage. The fight he took first, hype. Wow, okay, for it to end in literally kind of the head-to-head of tabseN versus Apex as well. Who wants it more? Who can pull that one off? tabseN kept it close. The Vitality edge further towards Overpass now as 15 is on the board. And from to do it in this fashion as well, with not even the full bite to play with, that's going to add a bit of insult to injury for Big.
Map point now, as they are really, really close to getting us onto Overpass. Farman's running for the flames into the smoke, and on the other side, the flash is pretty good. This might work out, but Dupree's there to save his teammate, and he keeps it going. A double kill for Dupree, 3 versus 2 now, and they just keep trading. Spinks hiding inside of the smoke, and now just hype left. He's low on health already, and ZywOo's made the drop down with the AWP on the inside. He has no idea. Clean USP shot, and it will be the Geeks of Vitality to finish on Cedar Creek. Really good stuff.
Wow. Big result. Huge pickup there for Vitality as they find their 16th round, a fast and flashy one to round us out. But there was some incredible moments of individuality across both teams there, Anders, and it sets us up for the grand stage, the 3rd map, the bookend in the series.
That's what we love to see. Overpass is coming up after the break.
So I just immediately like...
We saw some recruits.
He started talking trash a bit about
Cloud9 on Deagles, Glocks, and P250s, and then 1 Tech 9 for Axel. Talk to me about G2's performance in this competition so far, Alex. What have you made of it?
I think it's been hard to judge because they've played against a bunch of these teams that we don't often see at top-tier events. So it's been hard to judge because we haven't seen them play against their usual opponents. I think they've been pretty solid. That loss against 9 was very close. We've seen them play Nuke a couple of times. But I think this will be the real time we get to see what they're made of against another top-tier opponent that they're used to playing. I think you've got to say they've been more convincing than Cloud9, though. Especially that overtime game against Eternal Fire for Cloud9. And here is the start of the cleanup. And Hunter will help out. Did he get a kill with a flash? Did he throw the flash at Buster and get the kill with it?
That's wild.
A bit of fun. Might need a replay of that one.
Let's see that. We definitely have to see that again.
Does Hunter realize?
He's like, what? I died from flash? Yeah, Luke is telling him. That's so ridiculous. So he bangs it off the wall and doof. That's so ridiculous. Hunter didn't even realize.
You killed a guy with flashbang.
What?
You killed a guy with flashbang.
No, with Molly.
No.
No, the flash.
He didn't even realize. He didn't even believe him.
He's gaslighting Hooksy. Trust your instinct, Hooksy. That's right.
Back yourself, Hooksy. You're right. You're right in this scenario. All right, well, Cloud9, only 2 kills on the board so far. This is the gun round. And they might want to activate Axile early towards B, but they're not going to get the chance to. Pretty passive hold from G2 here. How often do you see a kill with a flash? Like, that is so rare.
Yeah, it's so rare. Absolutely, but G2 with 3-0 lead already. Weaker guns kept into this. Would be an absolute bonus if they could pick this up. And Cloud9's initial move is to get Axel up towards the wood, and he actually takes damage from the fire. JKS and Hooksy need to prepare themselves for a possible B play here.
Smoke up from JKS. He wants to retake this control with his teammate, but Axile already flashed in. Can't win the fight against Hooksy.
Yeah, good kill on the back way though from Shiro, but Hooksy delivering with the MP9. He's even got the rotation in, but he doesn't need it. Hooksy taking them down with a SMG of all weapons, and now the Tech 9 pulled out. Hooksy just stopping them from entering the B site single-handedly, dishing out kills, but Nafany has come back into it. It's a round of the in-game leaders, and Nico wants to bring the stars back into play. He'll go around CT. Nafany, low on health, commits to the bomb plant now. And Nico stays composed. He knows he's got to be favored in a clutch. And you're going up against Nafany. Nafany's going to slither back to quad. He's got the right read and the type of position Nico will want to come back in from, but that incendiary is going to force him into the open. And that's a kill with a molly. That's what it looks like. Hooksy holds the B site. Nico wins the clutch. Nafany does his best, but Cloud9 yet to pick up a round.
Yeah, nice round from Nico at the end, but that's all about Hooksy on that B bomb site. They get him back into position in time, and every now and then Hooksy seems to step up with a play like this where he has a ridiculous round. He stays alive for so long here, even pulling out the Tech 9.
Nice, that's some sick round, brother.
And yeah, definitely a sick round coming in from Hooksy, and those clutches, when G2 are at their best, they're winning rounds like that in the 1v1. It was a smart move from Nafany to move back from the bomb site, realizing the nade might come in, but so hard for him to play the post plant. Still the buy from Cloud9 though, thanks to that last round coming close and them getting the bomb down. I think they might take a more standard approach, a default setup. They went for the early commitment in the previous one. Hobbit using utility, trying to feign some presence at ramp. But his teammates seem a little more focused on the B side of the map right now. I mean, surely Hooksy doesn't quad kill you again.
Well, this one has got a better gun for it. Just trying to show off his new weapon. No longer the rat-a-tat-tat of the MP9. trying to pull the initial attention towards him so that JKS will have some time if they do commit into B, but Nafany's going to molly him out again. JKS cannot just keep standing in that spot.
Has a smoke at least, but it's still scary here. Needs assistance.
He does need help to come back now. I think he's going to make that rotate in. Monacy's off, drifting over to the side of the map as well.
This stack is brutal. 23 seconds for Cloud9 here.
And not a lot of time, wow. But a great shot from Axel, but there's still 2 players to cleave out of the site here. HooXi and JKS. JKS barely still standing at quad. Once again, HooXi delivers a great kill from the position. JKS still alive, still ticking at the back of the site, but time is ticking, and just enough of it to get that bomb down. Hunter moves in. He won't deny the plant, but he will win the round. Shiro falls, Hunter swoops in, and G2 have another. They're kicking this CT side off entirely differently than the last time they clashed.
Yeah, this is a complete opposite. It is dominance from G2. They are on fire with the first 5 rounds here of this series. And JKS, I mean, that shot from Axel, you think that's going to open it up, but JKS does a really good job surviving at quad for so long. And for Cloud9, there is a question, did they take too long there? They weren't really showing presence elsewhere on the map. The B stack comes in against them. G2 read it well. It's actually G2 to take their first time out here. You can see the intensity in the reactions every time. So maybe just making sure they figure out what's coming in this round, because Cloud9 still got that bomb planted. And that means we're likely to see an investment again. And even the AWP out for Shiro here on the Cloud9 side.
We got all the bells and whistles. Now we've got to try and win that first T round. We know Cloud9 can be so strong on. If they struggle to get involved on Vertigo, where does that leave them here in this series? HooXi has been a beast towards B. He's been good in this RMR. And he's continuing that performance here against Cloud9. Monacy, a really popular position for the AWP, and you can see why. Goes in, gets out. Another kill added to the tally here for G2, and lots of time to play with. Cloud9 down to 3 players. Smoke and a flash left on Buster, 2 decoys, and a Molotov. That's all they have left here, Cloud9.
Might be a round where you look to Shiro to try and get a pick for the team, but there's no reason for G2 to fight unnecessarily. They can sit back in favorable angles, and it is so hard for that T-side AWP to get a pick on this map. The ramp group up is the attempted answer here for Cloud9. They need something special to get into this round. Wallbang not quite on the right angle. And Monacy has been hard scoped on this position the entire time. This feels like a Hail Mary for Cloud9 at this point, but they decide to go for it. 32 seconds. They move into sandbags.
Oh, nice shot from Monacy yet again. Chimes in. Just Shiro and Hobbit now left. 20 seconds left. Just floundering at this point. G2 giving them no mercy. So clean from G2. World #1 looking like it.
Looking so good right now. Cloud9's default is not working. The opening moves in the round working out for G2. They win their fights on both sides of the map. Monacy catches Nafany. You know that Nafany is going to try and make those plays on ramp. Ahead of the rest of the team, he goes down. And just some solid flashes. It's so late in the round, you might as well use your utility. Cloud9 have got to get this figured out, because this is a really flat start for them.
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, the last time we seen them play, it was much more centered around getting the ramp control. It was a few rounds where we were getting mid control on Cloud9's T side as well. A lot of the time now, it's been this B site. They're not finding a lot of success there. Usually Cloud9 are so good at getting this ramp control. But G2 just take it off them in the previous round, disallow them to get up comfortably. And this round, it's completely slowed down to a halt, but Nico standing right above Hobbit in the smoke. They re-smoke it again just at the right time. And Nico sticks around, gets his reward for his patience. Now HooXi should fall back after getting that information from the shoulder peeking. He has a smoke to deploy as well, which he'll just pop down at the top of the stairs. And now Nico. Ooh, he's drifting towards Shiro's Tech 9. No issue for Nico. So clean on that headshot. 50 seconds left. This B site has felt impenetrable. But mid, it's got an opening now. Buster's D trying to come over the top of construction. The rest of his teammates are going down, but Buster's landed a couple of kills here. Anything else? Absolutely not. Huxi has just been on fire on this B site.
G2 in general looks so dialed in right now. And the conversation between Nico and Axel is only going one way in this one. And I think that's the thing that Nico always has, is when he peaks as a rifler, I don't think anyone can match him. Apart from Huxi, apparently, who's top of the board right now. But Nico still yet to die. And no timeout here for Cloud9. Maybe because they can go back to a standard round. We haven't really seen the work towards ramp in this one. Got to expect that from Cloud9 at some point. And Shiro has found that opener. That's what Cloud9 were looking for.
You can vote over on Blast.tv. Get involved in the polls. Shiro holds down the bottom of the ramp. Picked up an opener. Nico trying to force the issue on him. He just gets into a really dangerous spot. But he's got the ramp control for now. They're forcing Cloud9 further and further back. And now they try to cross over the smoke, and that is punished eventually by Hobbit.
Need a clean conversion here from Cloud9. There's no excuse not to win this round once you get up into this 5-on-3. Huxi has played over towards A in this one. Boost up. He's got to be ready for this. Oh, Shiro, the man that finds the angle instead through the smoke. And now Cloud9 have this one locked in.
Yeah, finally, Shiro arrives to this game. The menace against G2 in the previous series, the previous head-to-head. He comes out looking good. In this round, at least. G2's fire streak of 7 in a row is finally brought to an end. It's important for Cloud9 to get onto the board here. You don't have a lot of residual cash left over, so they can't really send out too many people on this hunt, or anyone at all in that matter. So m0NESY and JKS saving their weapons. 7-1, the scoreline. It's really important for Cloud9 in this series if they want to qualify in this series over G2. If the Vertigo gets picked up, you know, they're one of the best teams in the world on this map, especially on that T side.
I think most people would say the best based on their results. I'm sure G2 right now would be saying otherwise.
Yeah, they want to come through in a bit of a statement performance.
I mean, it just makes it more impressive, though. Cloud9's win rate on this map is ridiculous. I want to see the second shot from Shiro. What does he see? Oh, just a little over the top of the smoke. And that is all he needs. So Cloud9 win those ramp fights. And I think it makes sense for them to go back to that. Seems like that's where they oftentimes as a team find a lot of their T-side success. Hunter and Nico here for G2, but not contesting it this time. m0NESY has been switching up his position between mid and A. He's been naded there. Really nice nade onto m0NESY. Another nade, down to 10 health in mid.
m0NESY ain't having a good time at the start of this round. He's still sticking around. I haven't discouraged him to push him away yet, but that will. Hobbit forcibly removes m0NESY from play. Huxi will take the weapon of the AWP, slink on back to safety. Now just over a minute left here. 3 players in ramp, a more standard Cloud9 Vertigo round here. Having some presence in mid, and now slowly taking the ramp together. Nico helped out by that smoke from his teammate on the site, but Nico's also taking nade damage. Great rounds here for Cloud9 in terms of the utility. Oh, and the boost, they have to cancel it now. You've made a lot of noise.
At the same time, though, Cloud9 might realize it's 3 players on this A site. They force Nico back. They haven't caught him, but Hunter swings in, and that kill could be the go signal.
How has Nico got out of that? That is crazy. Great work to get Nico out at least, but they're losing players left and right for G2. And now they've lost the round. Cloud9 have settled into the
Signs are
game now.
looking
That's a
good as we
much
head
better
into our
round.
third and final
Much
map,
more
and the unicorn odds
of the
are on your
T-side we're
screen
used
as
to
well.
seeing from them.
Vitality, once again, favourites in the
Utility.
series. And
I mean, it does help when you can take the 2-star players out of G2, take him down to 30 health, remove Monacy down to 10 without even seeing them.
I mean, it's what Hobbit said, right? If you go up against G2, he wants to beat them with team play rather than their individuals. Definitely felt like Cloud9 did so effectively in this round. Axel's got to make sure he gets away from the bomb. He's on 1 health.
This time they are hunting JKS. They're close enough to him on the stairway here. JKS didn't give the steps. The ball blast covers them off. Buster accelerates, catches JKS, and no mercy to G2 in this one.
Despite such a strong start for G2, the money will start to run dry. And yeah, Hunter, I mean, he commits to help his teammate get back, but then hangs around a little longer. Axel showing what he can do with that rifle. And the buy still there for G2 in this one, but this is pretty much all their money invested into this round. Wow, Shiro taking a bit of molly damage early. Wanted this B pick. It's such a tight angle. No one going to stray into his crosshair. Decent nade from G2 this time.
Axel's always going to try and pose a threat over towards B, but finally Monacy will start to chime in again. G2 weren't able to compete in terms of getting the kills through in the last 2 rounds here. But now they find the opener. Just over a minute left. Cloud9 start to drift back over towards A. You are going to see the slow, tentative T side from Cloud9. They don't mind using the clock to its fullest extent. They'll take the ramp. That smoke that they so famously popularized. And Hobbit, he goes towards short, but Monacy's waiting for him. He's not happy with just the 1 kill in this round. He wants a lot more from it. Good flash to remove Nico. He's been caught in that common position a few times now. Starting to be aware of the setup, and they're cutting it down piece by piece here, Cloud9. They're up 1. 25 seconds. The rotation's starting to come in. Monacy needs to deliver massively here if G2 are to flip this round back in their favor. Hooksy rotates over, and the kills are coming in. Finally, Axel and Shiro take out Monacy and Hooksy, and JKS is so far removed from the equation. But he is coming back. He's going to give this a go for now, at least. But no one's offering themselves up. Cloud9 drop back and play the post plant together.
Kit on the floor needs to pick that up as he moves in here.
Not a whole lot of utility at all for JKS. And Shiro connects, so no issue there for Shiro.
already a BFG of a round from Vitality with a pistol. Big taking a lot of space here, though. A site completely open. They've ran their way in through long. The bomb's on the back of the man down towards B. That'll be hype just lurking for the late round. Wants to convince them this is going to be an A play, but that's not going to work if Zywoo kills everyone.
No, the bomb is down at B, so this is all just a bit of a distraction. They're hoping that everyone's running right from B, and you know what? They're not wrong either. What a hilarious twist at the end of it. The chances of winning the round are 0, but, you know, getting the bomb plant's pretty cool. A kill as well would just be, you know, delicious on top. They're not going to get that, though. I don't think Vitality are too worried. Yeah, it's giving a little bit away, but they didn't really lose anybody, and they should be feeling okay about this.
Do you also respect Hype going for the Glock burst in that situation? Like, man is a bit of a gangster around us, so it makes sense.
Yeah, tilt that Glock to the side while you're doing it, though, you know? That needs to be in CS2.
Honestly, I can see that happening, right? Like, literally just the off-angle guns. That'd be sick.
That's how you know it's on burst fire. It's like, I'm already wilding out here, you know?
Oh, yeah, if it changed the angle based on the burst fire, okay. That's an email to Valve. That's a good one.
We'll send it after the match. But you're not wrong. Third round here. AWP, AKs are out. Oh, we nearly walked right into the shot. Lucky to be alive on that one. But I love the fact that they show up. I feel like the CTs need a shot to that corner. They don't have to show themselves. Just throw a grenade. Any grenade will do, and you've automatically pretty much assured that the T's will now have to throw some smokes, some Molotovs to clear out the restrooms. They have to be a little bit more careful. You probably waste, 10, 15 seconds of their time every time you do it.
And it's that constant conditioning that you can repeat then again and again that can slow them down in key moments the longer this game goes on. Here, tabseN, you can see how vocal he is. Staring down the barrel, coming across to his teammates. Bit of a nade going over the top as well. Flashbang to try and pop him in for a quick kill, but no one wants to stand around for that one. Ooh, here we go. Bit of a boost up as well. Apex, what can you find, my friend?
Well, nothing so far, but he's close, Crimbo. If he had stepped a little bit further out of the window disaster, they do make noise coming off the boost. They need to make us to find a kill on the tabseN. Dance down towards the tunnel, so huge pickup right there. They needed it because they did lose Spinks to start the round with. 30 seconds left, and I'm still seeing a Molotov and a smoke on Apex. That's pretty worrying for Big that he still has that utility, even if he is a little bit backing up. Oh, he's coming back into it. Meg is key, just swings for it. No assistance needed. The Pre's going to be going down. There's 18 seconds, and all of the nades that Apex had, they've already been thrown, and they're not really slowing them down any longer. The bomb is making a cross for it here, and Apex would love this one. Low on health was Keto, and Apex, he's cleaning it all up on top of the box with the USB, and he slaughters them all.
Oh, man. Apex, commanding respect, 4 frags, 0 deaths, and another round under the belt of vitality from his smooth moves. The criminal himself on the B site.
That was very, very well done. The fact that Keto is low on health is such a huge advantage in that beginning fight, because otherwise it probably is a longer fight, and he's going to get peeked by Crimbo almost immediately, so super well done. And I would say about every third map-ish that Vitality play is an Apex map. Sort of roughly what we're going for here. And those Apex maps are really fun to watch, where he just goes completely nuclear and drops, 25 kills.
Yeah, excellent. It brings everyone else up so much more as well, right? Like, the energy level just reaches that new high. Once everyone's going Super Saiyan, things will get really damn spicy. Here it is a bit of a mixed bag of a buy as well. Big went to the car boot sale in the freeze time, and Apex, you said, he's going to have a bit of a third map spectacular. Already here, he's good for 2 as they just farm their way through Big.
Interesting, I think double Mac 10, some deals, and it's kind of like a weird half-type situation. I guess with the round loss bonus they're about to experience, especially if they could have got a bomb plant, probably set them up pretty nicely, so that's what they were gunning for, but it's a flawless round coming up for Vitality. And a 4-0 lead pretty quickly, pretty smoothly right now. I think even more importantly, they are successfully defending the B bomb site, even if it's not the most well-equipped attacks that are coming this way. One of the ways in which the CT side can really collapse on a map like Overpass is when you can't defend B and you keep having to put more and more people down there, to the point where at some point you almost have 4 people and the 5th guy is on the back of the A bomb site ready to rotate. That really happens sometimes, and it means you're defensively kind of at the bottom of the barrel there. There's not a lot going on. So if you can defend B early, makes everything a little bit easier.
And if tabseN can come alive early, that could be a big stepping stone for BIG. He's currently 0-4. He's been found in tons of form throughout this series, but here, it's a 3-man setup towards deep mid.
I think that was a little bit of a bait almost. I think Keto was jumping on the slide back there, and I think he spotted Saibu, and they went for the peek, and there was just 3 people on the other side ready and waiting. That's a little bit unfortunate. Apex looks like he's in a losing position here, but he's going to manage to escape. They didn't feel comfortable peeking him, again, probably because they did know that Saibu's out there with the AWP, and now there's a flank coming in from Spinks. Oh, this is perfectly timed. He shoots hyped and the balloon behind him. Can you ask for more?
Pops them both. And this is a prime time position. I mean, you're in a 5 versus 2. Bomb cold on the ground as well. You'll be terrified about the idea of Spinks mauling you if you go back to attempt to contest for that. So they've got to clear out a pathway for themselves. That'll be tabseN going through the connector. And he could be walking right into his crosshair, and as hook, line, and sinker, he's being reeled in.
Yeah. I mean, it's impossible to check all of this, really. Does actually get an impressive dink up on Spinks, but it's too late. Crimbo. 1 versus 5. Obviously not to win the round, but to try and do some damage or to try and take the gun. Either one will do. And they're not really hunting that aggressively. They're just happy to take the money and leave this one. is what it looks like. 5-0 in favor of Vitality. This is such an insane start for them right here. Cyber hasn't really died yet. Apex hasn't died yet. They're both at 7 kills. That's too much smooth sailing at the beginning.
14-0 then for the home ground heroes, wanting to be back in that environment they thrive in. But for Big, this has been a really slow start, not the same level of footing that we had seen in the prior maps, even where they have been struggling in the opening moments. The problem is as well, you factor in that T-side overpass, especially when you have no money. It just feels like there really is nothing you can do. No space you can create, no breathing room, and all that does is builds more hype up behind the Vitality roster, letting ZywOo feel like he can take more fights.
Interesting moment there. No Molotov thrown from the CT side, like it's kind of tradition on the map. But you're not feeling happy about that when you're on the T side, because all you're thinking is it probably means that ZywOo is holding the angle with the AWP. So it's kind of clear for them, but they don't really want to go behind it. Dupree down here by the pillar. They're actually really deep in, but he sees the shadow on the ground. It's such a huge advantage. And he's going to spray both of them down. Not at all bad. And now we can wait for a flashbang if he wants to peek it again. He's still kind of just solo a little bit on the site. There's the backup from Apex all the way in the back of the site. And Tabson's making all the noise in the world. Running through the middle. Makes did not hear it. Thunderfooting away, as Corey Dunn would have said at one point in time. Spinks to take him down at the end.
And this is snowballing quite quickly for the CT side of Vitality here. Far cleaner than what we had in any of the maps we've had in this series so far. Mirage was big, dominant. Nuke was a tight affair with Vitality peeling away. Here, it's just the Vitality show again and again, round in, round out. Bit of a difference maker here, though. Hype donning the AWP. What's he got in store with the Big Green?
There are 5 kills on Big right now in the first 6 rounds. I mean, both Apex and ZywOo individually have more than that combined. So there's a lot of evidence. Oh, that's how you do it. Get back in the round like that. Dupree getting banged out inside of the B-bomb site, and 4 and 5 to begin with. All right, that should get people a little bit excited. You know, they need that right now. Somehow things are just looking really slow for Big. I don't understand why.
You got that first pick to play with, especially in the manner you did. You're thinking the tempo would have been there off the back of it, but it's been a bit slow. They're going to group up, use that utility, try and command respect towards the toilets, but you're also giving tons of info over to Vitality at the minute. Ooh, hyped as well. Looking if he can catch a shot, let it rip like a dust-in disc if they go for the peak again.
Classic reference. I like the fact that Hype, you see, he actually turned for the flashbang and was ready for the peak. I mean, he's got a really good sense of what's happening here. Already scoped up, but Spinks crouches right underneath, and he takes down Tabson. How is he allowed to get away with it? Vegas is waiting for that smoke to fade right on the other side, but he's not quite quick enough now. The Molotov goes down right on top of them, and Farman, how does he not burn alive behind that? He's so low on health, and Spinks, he's hot on their back, ready for some revenge. He's going to catch almost one of them. Does miss the shot, and Keto will punish him for it. We had an awkward round on all sides as ZywOo is on his own.
ZywOo, the 1 versus 3, has a kit. Single flashbang to potentially facilitate a play as well, but I love this from Fav, tucked down behind the flower pots with his head down low. As soon as there's contact, you're not going to expect the Jack in the box pop up, and he can try and strike. ZywOo giving up a lot of time, and the reposition works out well. Favin's revealed himself early, tap on the bomb to draw them back in. Even if he just finds the frags here, he can make this first round big take incredibly costly for them, with Keto being on 32, slays his way through him, doubles back, upgrades to the AK. Looks to end it here on the last man of Crimbo.
Oh, it's really sick. You could definitely tell at one point there he'd given up on the round and was just going to try and make that expensive. I think you're absolutely right, and that's actually a problem for Big, right? They win, they finally win a round, but it cost them 4 players, and they could have had 3 alive instead. That's pretty devastating. 6-1 the scoreline here. Again, you don't build any confidence. You feel like, man, we're lucky that he didn't have a smoke or anything. I mean, if he'd had a smoke, maybe he can put more pressure on and just absolutely break us down.
I think that's the rough bit. It's what plagues you in the back of your mind, right? Where you're thinking, okay, we did win that round, but not really. It feels like we don't really have the cash to build off And it's not one that looks super sustainable, right? It's kind of like, okay, is that a strat that we can run again? Is that a play that we can definitely make again? No. Is Hyped always going to find the opening wallbang? Probably not, right? Like, so that also plagues your mental a little bit. Because right now, Vitality do seem to be winning the consistent rounds. And they were doing it in a relatively clean fashion as well. Same can't be mirrored for Big. But they've got there first, and that's always a start.
Spinks, Cyber, and Apex, and even Dupree to some extent are having pretty good beginnings to this map right here. That's horrifying. Timeout for Big. Hopefully, it could bring them back online. They need to be awake like they were in the first two maps. It was looking good. Oh, but the duck down. Apex turns around right as tabseN was getting flashed, and he's able to catch him, and that's part of the attack. They were meant to throw in tabseN first to take all the distraction. The rest come through the tunnel afterwards, but now instead it's been disjointed, and Magus, he's doing all the work right here. A triple for him so far. It's looking so good. Or it's just a double. I think one of them stolen there at the end, but still, it's a very, very clean round for them, and Apex is just, he's going mad. I love it.
Dude, the favorite bit for me is always like when the fist comes up and you start to see that little vein, it's like, yeah, here we go. You know just how loud he must be yelling. I'm surprised it doesn't bleed over sometimes. I feel like Apex would be the guy that would show up on stream with his voice and his face with how loud he gets.
Oh, he is. This is the best version of Apex that we're seeing. 10-1 for him. He's died a single time, so Saibu finally, but man, it's a bit late. Nice idea to try and rush this down with the Tech-9s in case someone is actually playing inside a connector, but they're not. They're quite far back this time, so no easy pickings for them. They need to do it the hard way instead and try and attack this bomb site.
Faven. Furious taps to hit the first head, but Dupree will be able to suck the life clean out of them, backed up by, again, the immortal Apex, who's finally slaying the Glocks, causing a bit of pain here, but Zywoo's pulling up to the party. He's not got an invitation. He's coming in illegally, and the bouncer has to kick him out. That's tabseN finishing off the round.
A classic scenario down on the B bomb site. When the CTs are tucked in the water like that, they can get flanked from the side itself, obviously on both left and right-hand sides. People jump up on the box. Any grenades coming over the wall are very hard to see because, especially if you're holding the left-hand side, you're kind of almost looking away from them. It's just such a bad defensive position. It's different if you have people behind you that are up on the high ground trying to hold one of those angles, or if you have another teammate down at the main entrance to B and you can sort of say, oh, I'm holding right, you only focus on one side, then at least it's somewhat defensible. But the way that they were set up there, it just doesn't really work out. And that's in spite of the fact that when Big came to attack them, one of them actually died and the bomb dropped down into the water. So there was a chance there where maybe it could have got awkward, but well done. Just not anything really tactically special, but getting those opening kills down to the B bomb side, making all the difference for Big. A second round that they are managing to pick up here.
And that's a turn-on tabseN round as well, right? He gets those 2 kills, goes from not really finding any opportunity to play a bit of counter in the way the game's been going so far, to again commanding respect for his team with the filthy Tech-9 plays. It's always fun when you see the Glocks getting kills as well, man. Hyped. Frustrating everyone on Vitality. But it's a couple of rounds. That's all it really is. You've got to keep yourself level-headed, take it a round at a time, and keep the game going your way. For Vitality, they use this opportunity to take a bit of a timeout and talk things out.
Yeah, I don't even think it's because they need to change a lot of things. It's probably just to also slow down Big. I mean, if you could see tabseN's getting a little bit of a hype speech going, and that's just it. Now it's our way back into the game, probably. But then you have to wait it out. You have to get a little bit of a break. It doesn't feel like you can have the same momentum. So it all kind of makes sense. They will have money to buy, and even if they lose this round, they will have money to buy again Vitality. So that's the other big obstacle that they have to overcome, because they have so few kills on the Big side that Vitality are just disgustingly rich.
Loads of money. So the Skrilla will be spent, and the buy will be back out. Zywoo donning the AWP once more. Same can be said for Hyped. He had that beautiful opener, but what more has he got in terms of consistency? Will he be able to be a huge key player for them into the round? They wanted to go for a bit of a play outside of Monster initially. Good timing as well here on the tuck back in for Faven, or it could have been Spinks grabbing the opening frag immediately.
Yeah, I don't know where that grenade went. I thought that was going to do more damage. tabseN taking a risk, but I love this play walking through the tunnel. So he just took one step back and slapped him out of the round. That looks ridiculous, doesn't it? typed here a must-win shot. Otherwise, he was going to die. But he will get it. 4 versus 3 now. Still a minute on the clock, just about. Man, I think that play from Tamsin is so good. That naked walk through the tunnel, it works more often than not, I feel like.
I think it probably would have worked if it was anyone but ZywOo with the way he hit that shot, right? Just on the fadeaway, the instant back pedal. Crazy how fast he was with the adjustment. And for Big, they've had to adjust with the ebb and flow of the round. They group up, they take control towards long, they set their focus on a bit of a speedier push in towards the A site. They gamble on hoping they can find the entry. Apex is in the back line with this, has a flashbang and a HE to work with. Right now just looking, see if he can get contact, dash the HE, and play for the rotation of his teammates.
Yeah, just not dying here is really the only thing that matters. Oh, he managed to slow them down on the grenade. Incredible timing. 67 damage on that one. dupree's going to find the headshot on Farvin, and whatever they were trying to do out long here, it's been absolutely denied. Apex is rolling back into the round. He got the timing so good. I guess they were pushing out of connector at the same time, so they might have just felt like, well, they're not outside of B, they're not in the middle by the restrooms. They really only can be long. Wow, that is such a flick. tabseN probably should have been favored to win that one, but instead it's 8-2 in favor of Vitality, and wow. That's some frustration.
Damn. The human element of Counter-Strike on display there. And those emotions can be hard to deal with in an environment like this. Even just having the timeout to actually breathe for a few seconds could be majorly beneficial for you, because we've seen how hard it can be when you start to slip into that mental game and you can't quite reset yourself. Here, tabseN and Gob as well, having the stern words with each other.
I actually think that's one of the important parts about using those timeouts sometimes a little bit earlier than maybe people will want, because one of the worst experiences is losing a half and you actually, once you get to the 14th, 15th round, in your brain you're just thinking, how did it go by so quick?
Yeah.
I feel like we just started this map and it's now we're just getting wrecked immediately. So I think it makes sense to try and slow it down so that your players have you know, more of a sense of, all right, we can adjust. This isn't done already. We can make up for this course correction here and see if we could do something. Technical pause now, as they're getting a little bit of a chance to catch up on everything. Man, what a start for Vitality on the third map. I really was expecting that there was going to be more tricks and maybe more success early on from the big camp, and we haven't seen it yet.
And the problem is, even if they have got those tricks up their sleeve, saving onto them for the CT side, you still need to build more of a buffer before you get there. So this half has a lot more to deliver. We are into the 11th round. Double AWP set up as well for Vitality. One on Spinks, the other on the main man of ZywOo, who takes a quick peek at mid. Doesn't really like what he sees, misses the opening shot, backs off just with the info he's gathered.
Great map control, though. Farvin, one good flash over the wall, and he could maybe run somebody down. Although ZywOo's behind the wall, so they're not going to be able to catch him right away, but still, that's really early on in the round for Big to be controlling this part of the map. ZywOo's starting to feel the pressure. Early shot from Spinks, doing the secondary AWPing. And ZywOo's going to walk right in. Does get tagged right in the face. Oh, Farvin wishes he had a deagle now.
Big tag. Can you convert it and grab yourself a frag onto the AWPer? Right now, still grouping up in the toilets, playing a bit of a buddy system, put hype up on the elevated angle. They do look a little bit scared. That's the thing for Big. It almost feels like in these situations previously, they would play with a little bit more of a pep in their step. Here, it's a little bit scared, and you're walking into Spinks, it's waiting for you. Molotov down, plays around the lip of it. ZywOo is the backup as well. Even if the first AWP falls, he's going to get swung on, and Keto gets the entry.
There's somewhere to work with, but here's the problem, though. It's only 25 seconds. tabseN, oh, he's trying to make up for it here. That would have been a sick headshot. Maze comes swinging out. tabseN is doing all the work right now, and it is a 1 versus 2, but dupreeh at range. The bomb, it's finally got picked up by Crimbo, and he's going to go straight for it. But dupreeh, he knows where he is behind those boxes, and Crimbo not going to hesitate. That's dangerous. Walks right into it, confidence, and he's going to take that round. They absolutely needed this one big. They are falling dangerously far behind, but Great win for them here.
And sick as well for the individual that won it, right? I think for Crimbo, the way he looked on the replay when we cut to the cameras previously, really frustrated, really upset with himself and with the game. But there, huge play. You're the one that feels like you're commanding respect again. You're the playmaker. You can forget about those negative thoughts. Put yourself back in it. The rest of the squad has to follow in his footsteps, though. Highest frags on the scoreboard is still 5 and 5 for Crimbo and Tabson in joint first. Behind that, it's just 3 for Faven. You need the rest of the roster to step up a little bit. Take a piece out of Vitality's book.
Yeah, that's needed. Absolutely. Faven's taking heavy damage with the wallbang. Crimbo also. It's an uncomfortable beginning to a round when two of your players, without really seeing much of anything, just get tagged down. Half health on both at the moment. Not what they're looking for here. An aggressive stance for the Vitality side, not just pushing in a connector, but also pushing out of the B-bomb side to try and help that connector play. And Spinks, look at how hungry he is. Finding the kill on Faven and putting up the smoke behind him. Map control was there for Big in the last round. This time it's completely swung back. Look at how aggressive Vitality are.
They're forcing every issue. Ooh, Zaiwu with the flick back. A little bit scared. Keto just pops up in the scope. Hits the bullet as well and takes the man down. Still good for a second as he roams into the site. Windmilling takes the head off of Apex. Rotation's coming around. Dupree being the point man. Hyped, clearing out back towards B as well. They found a huge opening. He can slip on in and get that planted.
If he does it now, they won't even know. They're going to think it's the A-bomb site, surely. Sneaking up is Keto. He's got to be careful. The longer he can stay alive, the more important. They still don't know. They still think this is an A plant. They got Spinks flanking it. Maybe now they're starting to realize, and Keto was going to be found. Great check for Dupree. What a huge check. If they don't do that, then they lose the round of Keto every single time. Now it's on Hype to really show us what he's got here. 1 versus 3 to try and keep Bic in this matchup. They are dangerously far behind and already being run down. Dupree just able to swing wide on that one. Absolutely well done. And Vitality, they're looking fiery hot at the moment. 9-3 the scoreline, denying the round for Big.
Again, every time Big look like they get thrown a bit of a bone, a bit of a chance to get back into the round. It's the individual of Vitality that are stepping up in the dying moments. Awkward instances there as well in the toilets. The Zaiwu clip playing back in my mind, thinking about that pop-up. In reality, focusing on Big, you can see again just how annoying these rounds really are going to be to receive this late into the game, this late into the series. And God B, trying to command respect here, get the whole roster's heads back together.
Yeah, if anyone could. Trusted in the game plan. They've been prepping for this, and objectively speaking, this half could still be recovered for Big. They still have the room to try and get the rounds on the board that they need. 9-6 should be quite a stretch, but I mean, that's amazing. I still think if they get like 5 rounds, it's still pretty doable. They can still make it back in the second half. I'm not going to rule them out at all. So focus right now. You need it. Whoever wins this map is going to be qualifying for the major. And that's everything to both these teams, I have no doubt. I'll boost up.
Keto peering over the top. It's getting a bit awkward, but he still hits the shot. In the meantime, though, it's a 1-for-1 due to how slow that was. So Magis gets away with raising a little bit of hell. And he stayed on the boost as well. He was looking for a little bit of a second.
If he hit the instant headshot, would his teammate have lived down in the tunnel? I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't even know where the bullets went. That's crazy. And now Cyber's on the other side. They do have one single flashbang, which is plenty enough to ruin his day. If they get the right pop in here, they can run this down. Dupree is here with them, though, so you got to be real careful about it. And they are thinking, you see Crimbo's got the grenade primed, then this backhand Tabson goes down. Cyber with the easy double, and Dupree, he's still playing around the pillar. Didn't want to swing wide enough for it. Instead, trusting in his teammates to get here. A flashbang setup, and he hunts down Crimbo. It's really good Counter-Strike being played by Vitality. They're making sure that they are optimizing these rounds. Keto now in a 1 versus 3. Gonna plant the bomb. And he did kill one of them already, so that's a bit of a start. Oh, the flames pushing him out of the bomb side, but he did get the plant. They don't know yet. He has no idea. He could have been dead already. That's so scary for Apex. But he locks himself into the corner. Out of bullets on the reload here. And now he's sandwiched in. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide for Kido. And he couldn't get the spray in either. You could see the frustration. It's not far off. I could understand that. But it is Vitality cleaning up the round that got really close.
God, a couple of key moments in that one, right? The boost play, the difference it could have made if Magisk wasn't able to find that frag instantly before the bullets connected. And then at the end there, the spacing towards CT, took the fight, was in a prime time position. All goes wrong. Oh, I think they're just sparking off the back of the geometry behind him. So it was just slightly off.
Something there, definitely. But you could see on the replay, he would have saved his teammate in the tunnel. Oh, that is a tragic scenario. What an opening it would have been. They would have got the kill, and then they would have been out the tunnel at the same time to put pressure on the rest of them. 10-3, the scoreline. Big need these last 2 rounds. It's a desperate time for the German side at the moment here. The spray, it looked great, but Kido coming alive, hunting down that AWP on Cyber, but he's going to be quick with it now. Apex is out on long, and he usually doesn't stand still for a long time either. Dupree is going to be found instantly dead as Kido, but the bomb, it's outside of B, and it's a 3 versus 4. One of the best shots yet that Big had in his first half of getting around.
They got to convert this. It needs to turn into a round for them, but Magisk shooting round straight towards them, hits the opening headshot, puts them down into a 3 versus 2. Zywoo on the reposition off the back of the smoke as they've slipped into the site, and Crimbo can get this planted.
If he had more bullets, it looked like he was going to be able to win that fight. But yeah, the money on at least 2 of the players there on Vitality, not great. So saving the rifles that they have, maybe even 3 of them, it makes a lot of sense. That's what you want to do. A 4th round for Big. Again, if they get up to 5, I think it's still pretty competitive. 4, I mean, it is the meme scoreline, but you still have to assume it's a long way back.
User entered your channel.
I think the extra layer to that is just the way Vitality are now playing this, the way they're hitting their shots and getting into their groove, and some of the small mistakes that have been so costly for Big. You need everything you can get. Put it all under your belt. Get the 5-10. Go onto that CT side, look reinvigorated, have a pistol round, build 1 round at a time off the back of it, because Hype's still looking damn good. It's just so much more awkward with the combat T-style AWPing. You put him onto CT, he can look a little bit more like himself. That could be a storyline we could start the work in, but we'll have to see. Right now, of course, it's just about getting this last round of the half and closing things as close as possible.
Yeah, they really need it. Confidence at an all-time low. You can tell that Big are not feeling this map at the moment right now, and it's really hurting them. Shot onto Kido brings him down to 17, and he's been the very aggressive play. He's been the one taking a lot of the map control. Going to be hard to do with that low health, although this might be a little bit of a problem for Spinks. They already got the scope up, but he will get farming before he gets taken down, so at least it's a trade. And leaves them in a 4-on-4. Dupree is pushed out on the other side, so got to be careful here, Hype. Yeah, the door is blown open, so if you step out too far, you're going to get shot in the back. Cyber over on long, that's finding Kido. He was still aggressive, hoping to bring it back, but this map is very much right now, or it was, in control of Vitality. With that kill on Dupree, maybe it's different, but not for Magisk. Absolutely crazy shots that are coming out, leaving Crimbo alone in a 1 versus 3.
Crimbo, 1 bullet at this point could split the man in half. It'd be some faster vision from Vitality, and that would move them onto an 11-4 scoreline here. Bomb completely under their control. He's forced to try and make something out of this. He wanders into the B site. Apex lurking, waiting, strikes, and that's the way it ends at the half. Is there any sort of comeback to be made? Find out.
Sound resumed.
हाँ भाई